We went from 17 million manufacturing jobs down to 12 million jobs in 8 years of mission. How do we survive as a strong industrial power if our manufacturing jobs disappear? Today, Mr. President, there are fewer manufacturing jobs in this country than there were in April of 1941, about 8 months before the attack on Pearl Harbor. Fewer manufacturing jobs today than in April of 1941. And those manufacturing jobs that are left, in many cases pay lower wages with fewer benefits than they did a generation ago. In other words, we are moving not only in a decline in our manufacturing jobs, but in the wages that our workers earn and the benefits that they receive. And I raise all of these issues to put this agreement between the president and the Republican leadership in a broader context. Today, and this is just an incredible fact, and it is just absolutely frightening for the future of the middle class in this country. Today, entry-level automobile workers at General Motors and Chrysler now earn half as much as their peers made just 1 year ago. Instead of making $28 an hour, a middle-class wage, they are now making $14 an hour. And this is in the automobile industry, which has always been the gold standard for manufacturing jobs in America. And if workers with a union in the automobile industry are making $14 an hour, what do you think workers in New Mexico are going to be making without a strong union? So what you're seeing is a dissolution of the middle class. Wages are going down, and in this remarkable example, a 50% reduction. The older workers making good wages, new workers half the wages. Is this the future of America? Is this what our kids have to look forward to? That they're going to be earning half the wages that their fathers made, that their mothers made? Is that the future? And in the midst of all of that, we run up a huge national debt, send our jobs to China, and we give tax breaks to billionaires? Is that the future these kids have to look forward to? I certainly hope not. But let me tell you something, we're going to have to be tough, and we're going to have to take on some very powerful special interests to turn this whole thing around. Mr. President, we often talk, and today I've been voting a lot of time to our national debt, $13.7 trillion, and to our deficit, which is $1.4 trillion, but we cannot ignore our trade deficit. In 2008, our trade deficit was nearly $700 billion. Last year, our trade deficit with China alone was almost $227 billion. In other words, we are purchasing a whole lot more product than we are selling. And sometimes I get a kick out of hearing the defenders of our trade policy talk about all of the product that we are exporting. Well, yeah, we are exporting a lot, but we are importing a heck of a lot more. So, Mr. President, I think what you got is a major economic issue here, and that economic issue is that we are losing millions of good-paying jobs because of our disastrous trade policies, and furthermore, the jobs that we have. On those jobs, we're seeing a decline in wages and in benefits. And I think the bottom line of this is not just, if you like, an economic issue, it's a moral issue as well. And that is when companies like General Electric and all the rest, I don't mean to be picking hard on General Electric, but I have a quote here, which I want to make. This was a few years back. I think it's important because it applies not just to General Electric, but I want people to hear this. GE is, of course, one of our major corporations, and in fact, as recent disclosure pointed out, the taxpayers of this country through the Fed provided $16 billion in bailout to General Electric during the recent crisis. This is what the head of CEO of General Electric, Jeffrey Immelt, said in 2002, December 6th. Quote, Jeff Immelt, head of CEO. When I am talking to GE managers, I talk China, 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 China. 5 Chinas. You need to be there. You need to change the way people talk about it and how they get there. I am a nut on China. Outsourcing from China is going to grow to $5 billion. We are building a tech center in China. Every discussion today has to center on China. The cost basis is extremely attractive. You can take an 18 cubic foot refrigerator, make it in China, land it in the United States, and land it for less than we can make an 18 cubic foot refrigerator today ourselves. End of quote. Jeffrey Immelt, Chairman, CEO of General Electric, quoted in an investor meeting on December 6, 2002. When GE recently had a couple of years ago some really difficult economic times, they needed $16 billion to bail them out. I didn't hear Mr. Immelt going to China, 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 China. I didn't hear that. I heard Mr. Immelt going to the taxpayers of the United States for his welfare check. So I say to Mr. Immelt, and I say to all of these CEOs who have been so quick to run to China, that maybe it's time to start reinvesting in the United States of America. But it's not just Mr. Immelt. And I don't mean to just pick on him, it's all of them. They all see the future in China, in Vietnam, in countries where people work for pennies an hour. Now, Mr. Immelt came to his position in the footsteps of the former CEO of GE, Jack Welch. And what Jack Welch was famously quoted as saying, quote, ideally, this is the guy who was head of General Electric before Immelt. He said, ideally, we'd have every plant we own on a barge. End of quote. Remember that quote? He said, we'd have ideally every plant we own on a barge. What did he mean by that? What he meant by that, if you're on a barge, you can move your plant to any part of the world where the labor is cheapest. So if it gets too expensive in China and you got to pay people 75 cents an hour, you go to Vietnam. If it gets too expensive in Vietnam, maybe you can go to North Korea and have people work under martial law. I don't know. But what he was saying is his goal was to make sure that GE would create jobs in those countries in the world where workers were paid the lowest possible wages. Former GE Executive Vice President Frank Doyle said, and I quote, we did a lot of violence to the expectations of the American workforce. We downsized, we delayered, and we outsourced. He was honest enough to admit what he had. But again, I don't mean to just pick on Jeff Immelt or General Electric. It is a history of corporations all over America. Let me just mention that the CEO of Cisco, John Chambers, and this is what he says. Then, we tell the young people the future is in information technology. We want you guys to be smart, learn how to use the computers. You're not going to work in factories. This is what the CEO of Cisco, certainly one of the large IT companies in the United States, said. He said, quote, China will become the IT center of the world. And we can have a healthy discussion about whether that's in 2020 or 2040. What we are trying to do is outline an entire strategy of becoming a Chinese company. End of quote. John Chambers, CEO of Cisco. This was in 2004. Furthermore, he says, October 15, 2004, this is Cisco. We believe in giving something back and truly becoming a Chinese company. Meanwhile, when Cisco needs tax breaks, they get it from the taxpayers of the United States of America. Boy, are they taking us for dummies. They outsource their jobs to China and so forth. Now, in the last campaign, one of the folks who ended up getting a lot more publicity, I think, than he usually does, is the president and CEO of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, a gentleman named Tom Donahue. And again, my point tonight is not to just to pick on individuals, because every quote that I'm giving you now can be multiplied 50, 100 times over. This is what corporate America believes. They believe that it is totally appropriate to throw American workers out on the street, move to low-wage countries, China and other countries, pay people a few cents an hour, bring their products back into the United States. Thomas Donahue is the president and CEO of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and he got a lot of publicity recently, especially during the last election, because the Chamber of Commerce became the funnel for a lot of money that went into campaigns around this country. They raised tens and tens of millions of dollars. A lot of that money, I believe, is undisclosed. So all the rich folks and the billionaires gave money to the Chamber of Commerce, and they were able to elect candidates that were sympathetic to their point of view. So let's find out what their point of view is. This is a quote, again, going back to 2004. Thomas Donahue, CEO of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Quote, "One job sent overseas, if it happens to be my job, is one too many. But the benefits of offshoring jobs outweighs the cost." End of quote. Tom Donahue, President and CEO of the largest business organization in America. They are in favor of offshoring American jobs. They think it is a good idea because they understand that if corporations throw American workers out on the street and go to China and pay people their pennies an hour, they are going to make more profits. That's what they say. Give them credit. They're upfront about it. We don't care about the United States of America. We don't care about young people. We don't care about the future of this country. Jeff Inmel told us the future of the world is in China. And here is a quote that appeared in one of the papers. U.S. Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Thomas Donahue urged American companies to send jobs overseas. I don't know if we have a date on that. In 2004, we think it is. Let me repeat that in one of the newspapers. An AP story. U.S. Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Thomas Donahue. This is the head of the largest business organization in America. That's where all these businesses come together to develop policy, to lobby us, to provide campaign contributions. U.S. Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Thomas Donahue urged American companies to send jobs overseas. Now that's really patriotic. That's standing up for the United States of America. Donahue said Wednesday that exporting high-paid tech jobs to low-cost countries such as India, China, and Russia saves companies money. It is no surprise that Donahue, who tripled the Chamber of Commerce's lobbying team since 1997 and aggressively promotes pro-business policies, endorses offshoring. The 3 million member organizations of the Chamber of Commerce, the world's largest business consortium, champions tax cuts, free trade, workers' compensation reform, and more liberal trade policies with China. End of quote. What more do you need when you want to understand why we have lost millions of good-paying manufacturing jobs, why wages are going down? What more do you need when the president of the Chamber of Commerce tells you that he thinks it is good public policy to send jobs to China? So I don't think there is, much that you have to, discover. They're telling you this. Now, in a moment, what I'm going to be talking about is how these ideas from the big money people become implemented into policy, which has to do a lot with lobbying and campaign contribution. I want to about how the business leaders of this country feel about the workers of this country and the young people of this country. This again is a quote that I apologize, it is a few years old, 2004 perhaps. 2004. Quote, January 19th. This is from Alan Lacey, the CEO, who was then the CEO of Sears Roebuck and Company. Look what he said, quote, There are 4 or 5 times as many smart, driven people in China than there are in the United States. And there's another 4 or 5, 3 or 4 times as many people in India that are smarter or as smart or have more drive. And if technology is now going to basically reduce location as a barrier to competition, i.e. you have a worldwide web and you can do your work in China or India, then essentially you've got something like whatever that was, 7 or 9 times more smart, committed people that are now competing in this marketplace against certain activities. So we're going to see, I think, this huge incentive to shift some of these more commodity-like knowledge workers' jobs offshore. So here you have our blue-collar jobs decimated, and we told the kids not to worry. You didn't want to work in a factory anyhow. We've got these good information technology, computer-based jobs for you. But then you have the heads of large corporations saying, hey, why do I want to get American young people to do this? I can have Indian young people do it who work for a fraction of the wages. And I think we all see this. I mean, it's nothing new. You try to get a plane reservation right now and you're talking to somebody in India. And please do not hear me to be anti-India or anti-Chinese. That is the furthest thing that I would want anyone to think. We want to work with people all over the world. But you don't have to destroy the middle class of this country to help people around the world. You don't have to be a corporate CEO to sell out your own people who built your company to run abroad. So this senator is not anti-Chinese, far from it, anti-Indian, anti-Vietnamese, not at all. I guess I plead guilty to being pro-American. I don't know. Maybe that's suspect here. Former CEO of Hewlett Packard, Carly Fiorina. This obviously, Ms. Fiorina ran for senator. This is what she said when she was the CEO of Hewlett Packard in 2004. She said, quote, "There is no job that is America's God-given right anymore," end of quote. I could go on and on and on, but I think you got the point. And the point is that when things get rough for corporate America, as they did recently for General Electric, they run to the taxpayers of this country in order to be bailed out. But their overall philosophy is that their goal in life is to make as much money as they can in any way they can, and therefore you run to those countries where wages are low. And what you're seeing now, and you're seeing it all of the time, and it's not just blue collar, it is increasingly white collar. You have radiologists who are able to read x-rays in India. You have people behind the computer can do work in India as well as here. And these corporate folks have taken advantage of that and sold out the young people of this country and the working class of this country. Mr. President, as you know, it is virtually impossible to find anything in a Walmart or other stores like that is made in America today. This is especially true for clothing. An increasing amount of our clothing comes from Bangladesh. Today, there are 4,000 garment factories in Bangladesh making clothes for Walmart, Gap, JCPenney, Levi Strauss, Tommy Hilfiger, and many, many others. Garment workers in Bangladesh, some 3.5 million of them, and that number is growing, are among the lowest paid workers in the world, and they have difficulty buying enough food and shelter for their own needs. As I mentioned earlier today, the good news is the minimum wage in Bangladesh was doubled. It went from 11.5 cents an hour to 23 cents an hour. So when you buy a shirt made in Bangladesh, you have young women there coming in from the countryside who are paid now, have received.
Hello, we're back. How's everybody doing? Once again, we are posting. Condition Bling, thank you for the 200 bits. We added an emote. It's the cop one. I'm pointing at the screen. It says cop. And you can get it if you give me 1,000 bits, which is like $10. I just learned how to do that. I didn't realize I could do that. Yeah, we're back. I hope everyone's doing well. The president continues. The Cheeto continues to be in Walter Reed Hospital. The Cheeto continues to be sick. And in fact, because he doesn't have access to his spray tan, he's not even a Cheeto. I fucking got him. His career is over. His career is over. Kelly, thank you for the 1,000 bits. When you say die bitch die, I'm assuming that's German for the bitch the. Because, you know, telling someone to die is against terms of service. It's not okay. I would never endorse that. You gotta watch this. Let me see. Video unavailable. Thank God. You know what? I complain about Sleep Sonic Titan. Thank you for the 100 bits. I complain sometimes. Why won't I have to do this? I complain sometimes about, you know, Condition Bleen as well. Thank you for the 200 bits from a minute ago. I complain about being in Canada and how annoying that is sometimes, but sometimes it really saves me from having to deal with this type of shit. Really, Trudeau is protecting me from cringe. He knows that it's bad and he will not let me access it. So thank you, Justin. What is this? Oh, this is I think let's watch a bit of SNL stuff. I watched Condition Bleen. Thank you for the 300 more bits. I think that I watched a bit of the fucking the SNL thing because my parents were watching it on cable, but it seems like my impression of it is just like they're trying to, like, it's not actually good political satire of Biden because they're trying to make him look cool. You know, it's like Jim Carrey's just doing like Jim Carrey and he's being charismatic and Biden isn't that. So it's like political satire. It's not political satire. It's more like a hip, like Catholic priest trying or like, you know, youth outreach person for the church trying to tell kids how cool Jesus is. And that's obviously cringe, but we can watch a bit of it. Wapo.
Saturday Night Live had its first in-studio episode since the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic on October 3rd.
Right, we had that
How
queued
the
up.
show would
I
handle
got a
the
couple stuff
chaotic
queued up,
first presidential
including not even a show finale for the season. It was 40 minutes.
And President Trump testing positive for the coronavirus was on everyone's minds.
This news was a lot for us to process a day before we came back on the air after 4 months off.
That's cool.
And it all happens.
Donald Trump owned SNL by doing that.
Season 46 began.
Absolutely fucking owned SNL because they couldn't like make any real
with
humor.
a cold open based on the debate in Cleveland. Alec Baldwin returned as President Trump.
Which Alec Baldwin's Trump is not good. It's not like it doesn't look or sound
And Jim
like
Carrey
Trump.
debuted as former Vice President Joe Biden.
Like Biden doesn't have the capacity to do that hand
cops
movement.
Are bad cops.
Oh, Bad Robot. Thank you for the tier 1. Oh, we got a hype train, folks. Let's go. Let's go.
Note
we can keep the hype train going. We'll watch the lizard. We'll look at the lizard in a
how he
second.
carefully analyzed
But I want to
the
watch
socially
this.
distanced placement of his podium.
You can see they added this like
All
last
cops
fucking
are
minute.
bad cops.
Oh, Pool Dad music. Thank you for the Jeff Bezos bucks.
Beck Bennett played Fox News' Chris Wallace, the moderator.
I think I'm going to do a really, really good job tonight.
The sketch recreated the main themes of the debate itself: interruptions and chaos.
No, whatever you're going to say, no.
Lizzo, thank you for the gift sub.
Mr. President, please.
Which, you know, it's an easy joke to make, right? Maya, thank you for the
Trump himself
That's
repeatedly
good.
interrupted both Wallace and Biden earlier in the
when Biden does that shit. Bad Roa, thank you for the 500 bits.
He's the racist.
You just don't know.
Here's the deal. I know a lot more about this than he does.
Let him finish.
Baldwin lampooned some of Trump's statements about coronavirus.
The China virus has been very mean to me by being a hoax, and that statement will not come back to haunt me later this week.
which the president would later in the week test positive for.
Guys.
So I just want to tell you that I'm starting to feel...
That is one of the funniest things Biden does, is when he's about to swear and he's like, listen, come on guys.
Good.
You know what I'm about to... I can't say that on TV.
You don't know, over the next period of a few days, I guess that's the real test.
There were two half-decent jokes.
Yeah. Trump told the Proud Boys, a far-right group, to stand back and stand by after Wallace asked him...
Oh, hype train. Folks, if you send 1,000 bits, you can get 2 emotes for 1.
To denounce...
You get the Liv posting copy emote as posted by Anvilized right there.
White supremacists and the Proud Boys were offered as an example.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
Baldwin made mention of the Proud Boys and other groups.
Who are you even talking about? The Proud Boys? The White Boot? The Eugenics Eagles?
And flashed the OK symbol with each hand, a common gesture that recently came to signify white power. The cold open ended with Kerry pausing Trump.
I mean,
so
Maya
Rudolph
is a good impressionist, I guess.
Isn't that satisfying?
During the show's weekend update, co-anchor Michael Shea addressed the elephant in the room. Is it acceptable to joke about the president testing positive for coronavirus?
It's incredibly on the nose. I mean, it's too on the nose for a joke, you know. It's like it's unoriginal. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess they had four months to do fucking... I mean, SNL is sort of just on its back legs. I think people remember older SNL a lot favorably than it probably was, because the really funny skits shine through, but there just aren't those funny skits anymore. Oh, and then also, speaking of the Proud Boys, there seems to be some attempt at changing what the Proud Boys mean and making it like a gay thing. Like it's like a guy who is proud of being gay. Which the worst idea in the fuck. It's not gonna work. But also very funny that they're basically just saying that the Proud Boys are gay. Like it's not an attempt to do that. It's an attempt to reclaim it. But I mean, Jesus Christ, guys, this is not gonna work. It's not gonna work, folks. It's not gonna work. It's cringe. It's embarrassing. It's also very funny that the military tweeted about it, because especially given the history of the Canadian military and the Proud Boys in it. There was a situation a couple of years ago where these Indigenous people were protesting on some sort of, I believe it was a statue. Oh, thank you for the hype train, folks. I forgot that was going on. They were contesting. We can't do the lizard always. If we do the lizard too much, it gets boring, or it gets old. They were protesting a statue of some colonizer who killed a bunch of Indigenous people, and then a couple troops came up who were members of the Proud Boys and counter protested, and it was a national story. It was all right. I'll give you I'll give you a bit of the, if you fucking want it. Look, if this is a kid saying they want a bunch of candy, and their parent being like, well, you can't have too much of it, you're gonna get sick of it, it's gonna rot your teeth. Just unable to think into the future. No capacity. Anyways, here you go. I'll give you a bit of lizard. Yeah, and then they got reinstated. Back in Canadian military after crashing Indigenous ceremony. Returned to military. No criminal charges. I mean, it was a joke. So the Canadian military does actually like the Proud Boys. They're totally fine with them existing. The chat lacks object permanence, absolutely. Every single Twitch chat lacks object permanence. That's empirically correct. Alright, we'll play this a bit, and then we'll go on to other stuff. Because there's updates with the doctors, who... I guess everyone fucking knew they were lying, but it's confirmed. They literally said they were lying. Proud Boys Reddit did get taken over years ago by trans men. Oh, that's funny. Oh, so it's a... Yeah, I mean, you can't actually appropriate it, though. Oh, yeah, r/Proud Boys is, like, for trans men, isn't it? But yeah. You've been 419 subs for a few days. This says a lot about our society. It's the Liv Daycare. That's exactly what this stream is. The Poggies emote is so cute. Or the Peepo clap. Oh yeah, we can watch this too. Alright. Okay, there you go. There's the lizard. Let's go to this. Let's watch the conference. Because I haven't watched the full. Because they had another one today.
Since we spoke last, the president has continued to improve. As with any illness, there are frequent ups and downs over the course.
They fucking...
Particularly when a patient is being so
fucked
closely
the audio.
watched 24 hours a day. We review and debate every finding, compare it to existing science and literature.
Hold on.
Weighing the risks and benefits
I'll
of
help you
every
guys
intervention.
out. Hold on.
Its timing.
I'll turn it to mono.
As well as any potential impacts a delay may have. Over the course of his illness, the president has experienced 2 episodes of transient drops in his oxygen saturation. We debated the reasons for this.
By the way, I believe it's about a quarter of people who require oxygen saturation for COVID die. Like about 1 in 4.
Intervene. It was a determination of the team based predominantly on the timeline from the initial diagnosis that we initiate dexamethasone. I'd like to take this opportunity now, given some speculation over the course of the illness, the last couple of days, update you on the course of his own illness. Thursday night into Friday morning when I left the bedside, the president was doing well, with only mild symptoms.
This is Glenn Greenwald,
oxygen was in the high 90s. Late Friday morning when I returned to the bedside, the president had a high fever and his oxygen saturation was transiently dipping below 94%.
So yesterday they were saying he does not have a fever and he has never been on oxygen. And now he has a very high fever and his oxygen saturation is plummeting.
Given these 2 developments, I was concerned for...
Yes, they gave him steroids, and like that amount of steroids is like a very serious treatment. You can like with a high like dose of steroids for this type of treatment, you can actually like have psychotic symptoms.
Possible rapid progression of the illness. I recommended the president we try some supplemental oxygen, see how he'd respond. He was fairly adamant that he didn't need it. He was not short of breath. He was tired, had the fever, and that was about it. And after about a minute...
Yeah, so like, literally don't fucking believe anything they're saying.
Only 2 liters.
They're just lying.
The saturation levels were back over 95%. Stayed on that for
what
about
a Weasley little
hour,
liar,
maybe,
dude.
And it was off.
Still lying.
And gone. Later that day, by the time the team here was at the bedside, the president had been up out of bed, moving about the residence with only mild symptoms.
Yeah,
Despite this,
also another thing that happens with COVID, of course, is like symptoms can go away for a second and then come back in a very brutal way.
The best course of action was to move to Walter Reed for a more thorough evaluation and monitoring. Now I'd like to invite up Dr. Dooley to discuss current plan.
So, you know.
Thank you, Dr. Conley. Before I begin, a brief clinical update on
How
the president's
VIP
condition.
pulled
I do
that?
want to
How's it
reiterate my
going?
comments from yesterday regarding the how proud I am to be a part of this multidisciplinary, multi-institutional team of clinical professionals behind me.
Give you
and
the
what
little
an honor it is to
diamonds
care
in
for
the
the
chat.
president here at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. Regarding his clinical status, the patient continues to improve.
Ninja Rab, I think
he has remained without fever.
Yeah, I would put Donald Trump in like the 20 age category because of his like, you know, mental vitality and spirit.
His vital signs are stable. From a pulmonary standpoint, he remains on room air this morning and is not complaining of shortness of breath or other significant respiratory symptoms. He's ambulating himself, walking around the White House Medical Unit without limitation or disability. Our continued monitoring of his cardiac, liver, and kidney function demonstrates continued normal findings or improving findings. And I'll now turn it over to Dr. Garibaldi from Johns Hopkins to talk about our therapeutics and, again, our plan for the day.
Are there unban requests now?
Thank you, Dr. Dooley, and I just wanted to again reiterate what an honor and a privilege it is to take care of the
Oh,
president.
that's cool. Let's look at my unban requests. Let's look at the first
part
one.
Of such a talented
Hold
and
on.
multidisciplinary team
Let me
here
pull this up.
at Walter Reed. The president yesterday evening completed his second dose of remdesivir. He's tolerated that
Oh, what?
infusion well. We've been monitoring for any potential side effects.
How do I pull this
and
up?
he has had none that we can tell.
The one unban request I have is by GM Donald Trump, and the message is, "Boy, you need to read Mein Kampf." Off to a great
His
start,
liver and
guys.
kidney function have
I'm
remained
glad they
normal.
added that feature.
And we continue to plan to use a 5-day course of remdesivir.
That's a great idea.
In response to transient low oxygen levels, as Dr. Conley has discussed, we did initiate dexamethasone therapy, and he received his first dose of that yesterday, and our plan is to continue that for the time being. Today he feels well. He's been up and around. Our plan for today is to have him to eat and drink, be up out of bed as much as possible.
Oh, it's
to
so
be
obvious.
mobile.
Yeah, I mean, the docs are nervous. Like, it's hard to get doctors to lie. They're not very good at it.
And if he continues to look and feel
they're
as
sort
well
of
as he
trying
does
to get
today,
them
our
to do
hope
that.
is that we can plan for a discharge as early as tomorrow to the White House where he can continue his
That's fucking insane.
treatment course.
As early as tomorrow. Like, even if his symptoms go away, COVID has this tendency of, like, them coming right back very quickly in the days afterwards.
Thank you very much, and I'll turn it over
and coming back way worse.
to Dr. Connolly for any questions.
Like, the idea... Also, by the way, Trump fucking doesn't do anything. The president position is fake.
Dr. Conley?
Just a moment, please. President wanted me to share how proud.
So he doesn't have to be, like... Doesn't have to be back at the White House. But, like, the idea of having, like, to quarantine the White House makes no sense.
He is of the group. What an honor it is for him to be receiving his care here at Walter Reed, surrounded by such incredible talent, academic leaders, department chairs, internationally renowned researchers and clinicians, including the support of Dr. Garibaldi from Johns Hopkins.
Well, yeah, they want him out early
I'd
to
like
make it look like
reiterate
he's doing
how
better.
pleased we all are with the president's recovery. And with that, I'll take your question.
Thank you,
There we
Dr.
go, let's
Conley.
see.
You said that there were 2 instances where he had drops in oxygen. Can you walk us through the second one? And also, I've got a question for the lung specialist afterwards.
Sure, yeah. Yesterday, there was another episode where he dropped down about 93%.
I don't know,
he doesn't ever feel short of breath. We watched it, and it returned back up. As I said, we evaluate all of these, and given the timeline where he is in the course of illness, you know, we are trying to maximize
93 is
everything
bad.
that we could do for him, and we debated whether we'd even start it, the dexamethasone, and we
Below
decided
95 is
that
where
in this
concern
case,
starts. Below 90 is really
the
bad.
potential benefits early on the course probably outweighed any risks at this time.
Did you give him a second round of supplemental oxygen yesterday?
I'd have to check with the nursing staff. I don't think that if he did, it was very, very limited, but he's not on oxygen. And the only oxygen that I ordered or that we provided was,
I don't know. I
that
gotta
Friday
ask
morning
someone.
initially.
And about what time was that yesterday?
Yesterday, what was yesterday?
You said the second instance.
What
Second
was-
incidents? Oh, it was over the course of the day, yeah. Yesterday morning.
Dr. Conley.
Dr. Conley.
The president's current
He's just not good at lying.
blood oxygen level. That's my
He's
first
bad at
question
lying.
to you, Dr. Conley.
So,
98%.
so we can be very sure. Oh, did he said 98?
Blood oxygen level.
Oh, blood oxygen is different.
That's my first question to you, Dr. Conley.
98%.
And what do the X-rays and CT scans?
I mean, we know that it's, I mean, basically confirmed at this point that he got it on Wednesday. Because yesterday he said 72 hours ago, and then he, like, corrected himself.
Show, are there signs of pneumonia? Are there signs of lung involvement or any damage to the lungs?
Yeah, so we're tracking all of that. There's some expected findings, but nothing of any major clinical concern.
Then why start him, Dr. Conley, on the...
Sorry?
Dr. Conley, why...
ask if his oxygen level ever dipped below 90?
We don't have any recordings here of that. That's right.
on the dexamethasone, Dr. Yeah.
That's not a no, folks.
What about here?
That's not a no.
Have any recordings here of that?
Like, when something doesn't happen, he'll say no explicitly. immediately.
That's right.
On the dextromethasone, Dr. Yeah, what about here? At the White House or here, anything below 90, just to follow up on her question?
Why won't they just... The funny thing about this is, he's just bad at lying, is like, eventually they push him into a lie through questions. So just lie. If you're gonna lie...
No, it was below 94%. It wasn't down into the low 80s or anything. No.
So, okay.
What? It was below 94, and he said 93 before, and then he says it wasn't in the low 80s or anything. So mid 80s. Below 94 to low. It's like he's a fucking weatherman. It's like we'll get like high to low 90s tomorrow. High 80 to low 90 tomorrow.
So on the dexamethasone,
the specifics I couldn't tell you.
The steroids, sir. On the lung
Yesterday,
function?
you told us that the president was in great shape, had been in good shape and fever-free for the previous 24 hours. Minutes after your press conference, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows told reporters that the president's vitals were very concerning over the past 24 hours.
They're so bad at lying.
Simple question for the American people. Whose statements about the president's health should we believe?
So the chief and I work side by side.
Yeah.
And I think his statement was misconstrued. What he meant was that 24 hours ago, when he and I were checking on the president, that there was that momentary episode of the high fever and that temporary drop in the saturation.
The classic thing that happens with like a fever when you have a sickness is it happens in like 3 hours, then it goes away.
Prompted us to act.
You can see when he smiles, like he knows they got his ass, right?
Work side by side. And
He did this when they asked him like, has Trump been on oxygen on Friday? Has he been on Thursday? Has he been on Wednesday?
And I think his statement was misconstrued. What he meant was that 24 hours ago, when he and I were checking on the president, that there was that momentary episode of the high fever and that temporary drop.
It's sus. He faked us. Yeah, we should vote him out. He's acting sus.
Which prompted us to act expediently to move him up here. Fortunately, that was really a very transient, limited episode. A couple hours later, he was back up, mild again. I'm not going to speculate what that limited episode was about so early in the course, but
again, like the treatment they're giving him. Let me find. There was some
What are the
tweet about
expected
this.
findings on his lungs, and why is the president not wearing a mask in the videos and photos that have been released?
Yeah, why is he not wearing a mask?
The president wears a mask anytime he's around us, and we're all wearing our N95s, full PPE. He's the patient, and when we can, when he'll move out.
Oh, and look at this fucking tweet. Every single person in the vehicle during that president vehicle during the completely unnecessary presidential drive-by just now is to be quarantined for 14 days. They might get sick, they may die for political theater. Commanded by Trump to put their lives at risk. Walter Reed attending. Buh.
To public, we move him out and around other people that aren't in full PPE. I assure you, he'll as long as he's still under my care, we'll talk about him wearing a mask.
And he's in a negative pressure room? And the room is negative pressure?
I'm not going to get into the specifics of his care.
And can you answer the questions on the lung function?
That's his tell is when he laughs,
Room is
right?
negative pressure.
We'll talk about him wearing a mask.
And he's in a negative pressure room?
What's a negative pressure
The
room?
room is negative pressure.
I'm not.
So that's a yes. It was negative
Get
pressure.
into the specifics of his care.
And can you answer the questions on the lung function?
Yeah, whenever he smiles, he knows
question,
he's
Dr.
lying.
Conley?
I'm sorry?
The lung function question. Can you talk about that and what these expected
I would
findings?
just share that, like every patient, we perform.
Air only flows in. Oh, it's to prevent like is that just to prevent like contamination?
Lung spirometry on him.
Oh, I guess that makes sense then. That's
that's
not that crazy. It just means he's like shedding coronavirus cells rapidly, which makes sense.
Cops are bad cops.
Corin, thank you for 3 months.
He's maxing it out. We told him, see what you can do, and it's over 2,500 milliliters each time. He's doing great. Yeah.
What are your
He's doing great.
Irregularities in his lungs? Are there any obesities? Are there anything?
To disclose that the president had been administered oxygen.
It's a good question.
Thank you.
I was trying to reflect the upbeat attitude that the team, the president, that his course of illness has had.
I feel bad for this guy. I mean, this is a tough position to be in.
Steer the course of illness in another direction, and in doing so, it came off that we were trying to hide.
He's a doctor. Doctors aren't good at lying. That's really it. They should have just dressed up lawyers as doctors and pretended they were the staff.
He is the fact of the matter is that he's doing really well.
It is Herman Cain's situation word for word. Yes, pretty much. The ultimate irony is Herman Cain's. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like he's getting better. He looks great. Does not. Yeah, it's the same thing.
He is responding, and as the team said, if everything continues to go well, we're going to start discharge planning back to the White House. That's it. Thank you, folks.
Dr. Conley, on his lungs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. This is the thing we can learn. They put Trump on like a very heavy steroid treatment that's for wet lung. I mean, like, it's very serious. That's a very serious. You don't do that proactively. It's like the experimental like antibody cocktail stuff is a proactive thing. You don't put someone on like steroids proactively. It's not. Is it dexamethasone? That sounds familiar. Yeah, it's a very serious treatment, particularly if you're 74. Here's the tweet I saw before. I was treated with dexamethasone following brain surgery. It is a drug that seriously messes with your mind. It is a bad drug. Like, Trump is not an irrational, like, even if he doesn't have symptoms and they bring him back to the White House, he could demonstrate like symptoms of like psychosis. He's not, and this is implying that Trump does anything in the fucking first place, but he's not in his right mind to work in any sense. If he's on this shit, he's going to be pretty unwell. Yeah, he's gonna nuke France or something. He's gonna order McDonald's and the fries are gonna be shit, and he's gonna try to order an attack on France. I mean, Jesus Christ, they're fucking it up so badly. All of this makes it look so much worse. Oh shit. I mean, I guess it's a joke, right? Because it's like the way he's tweeting. Damn. Literally predicted it. Damn. Yeah, I mean, folks. And again, the fact that they're lying makes it look so much worse. Because we don't know. Maybe there may be things that are happening. Like, oh, and then not even fucking... Marxist-Leninist Trump is gonna happen. He's gonna read. Someone's gonna make him read Lenin while he's like on that fucking treatment, and he's gonna come out and be like, "Folks, you shouldn't vote. Folks, the dictatorship of the bourgeoisie is a waste of time. Folks, the Communist Party of Germany, they're losers. Rosa, she's an idiot. She's a stone cold idiot. Folks, what we need is a vanguard party." Yeah, that's gonna happen. What else? There's something. Oh, yeah. And the fucking photos. I mean, the administration is so fucking incompetent. It's truly absurd. Again, like, all of this is so on the nose. It's hard to make jokes about it because it's already photo released by the White House tonight. So they released 2 photos, and of like, look at Donald Trump. This one, of course, they zoomed it in. He's signing his name on a blank piece of paper. It's like, look at Donald Trump is still working. These photos were taken on Thursday, 10 minutes apart. They forgot to remove the metadata from the photos. So who fucking knows how he is now? I will say, people were saying how ridiculous. How do you metadata? It's the most basic shit ever. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, when I was doing this shit, you know, the conspiracy stuff, people were like, "Come on, Liv, come on." Was it on Saturday? It wasn't Thursday? Hold on. I thought it was Thursday. Oh, Saturday. You're right. Not Thursday. Regardless, who fucking knows where he is? They're clearly doing pre-recorded shit. It's clearly pre-recorded shit. Do you think it was a double? Who fucking knows? Of like, if that's out the window, then they're doing the same shit that like what happened to Chavez in the 90s when he died. It's like there's a bunch of pre-recorded stuff they have prepared to make everything look like it's fine. Yeah, who knows? Like all of the videos released. Oh, and we can watch the most recent video. Fucking this one.
Great reports from the doctors. This is an incredible hospital, Walter Reed. The work they do is just absolutely amazing, and I want.
I'm very certain that this is fucking edited.
The nurses, the
unironically,
doctors,
there's no
here.
like.
I've also gotten to meet some of the soldiers and the first responders, and what a group. I also think we're going to pay a little surprise to some of the great patriots that we have out on the street, and they've been out there for a long time, and they've got Trump flags, and they love our country. So I'm not telling anybody but you, but I'm about to make a little surprise visit. So perhaps
this was the surprise visit that potentially gave a bunch of doctors
there before
COVID.
You get to see me. But I just, when I look at the enthusiasm, and we have enthusiasm like probably nobody's ever had. Our people that love the job we're doing, we have more enthusiasm.
Because this is how Trump speaks,
than
right?
maybe anybody. So it's been a very interesting journey. I learned a lot about COVID. I learned it by really going to school. This is the real school. This isn't the let's read.
Folks, I was raised on the streets.
The book school.
I don't have book knowledge. I got street knowledge.
I get it, and I understand it, and it's a very interesting thing, and I'm going to be letting you know about it. In the meantime, we love the USA, and we love what's happening. Thank you.
We love what's happening. Yeah, he's out of it. He's totally fucking out of it. Jesus Christ. Oh, and then this.
For mischief.
So this is the drive-by thing,
For mischief,
which is an awful idea.
For someone like Iran or North Korea, both of whom feel they have scores to settle, and would look upon this ambiguous time as
you guys,
as an
I've been just
an opportunity for mischief.
Like, God, he's so fucking stupid and selfish. I mean, one thing I will say, like, I'm pretty sure that Trump's last, like, most recent tweet, this one is like not him. I really appreciate is not like, yeah, Iran is gonna invade us because it's weak. Yeah, it's not. That's not really how he talks. But I will say what is accurate. Whichever. Yeah, Trump's starting a tweet with "the fact is" exactly. He said that. Fuck. Like that's not what Trump says. Trump doesn't type like that. Sorry, I thought you guys were making that up. I forgot that that's literally in the fucking tweet. Okay, swiftly.
Your pants maybe
Thank you for the host.
And come.
It didn't say it in the thing. It says it as an alert. I'm confused. I'll turn off. Follow K Swiftly, a cool leftist. Swiftly. Maybe it was just a host and not technically a raid. Anyways, but yeah, this is not how Trump speaks. He does not say "the fact is" or start a tweet with "I really appreciate." What the White House staffer who wrote this did get correct though is referring to all of his like supporters as fans, because that's how Trump treats this. He's like Trump thinks that he's famous. And what is totally fucking represented by this insane stunt that again will like probably get a bunch of people tested, like probably get a bunch of people COVID, force everyone in that car to quarantine for 14 days.
For
it's because he wanted to show up for his fans.
Like Iran or North Korea, both of whom feel they have scores to settle, and would look upon this ambiguous time as
you guys, I've been
I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, there we go. It sort of glitched. K Swiftly, thank you for the raid. Everyone go follow them. Cool leftist. I mean, yeah, it's so fucking negligent. I mean, in such a perfect Trumpian way, you know? Yeah. Oh, she's doing a mobile stream. Oh, I see. That's why. It said it was a host, and it was right. Okay. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. It's so on the nose. Which is again why I think that the only logical conclusion here is that Trump dies of coronavirus. And to be clear, I'm not wishing anyone death. I'm just trying to predict the future. Because it's so on the nose. It's absurd. And it's just, like, I can't think of anything else happening except for that. I can't understand it. And maybe that's why it won't happen, because you start to predict it, and then it doesn't happen. But I don't know. I don't know, man. Anyways, we watched this. We can watch this. There's a video by Non-Compete, which go, subscribe to them. Wait, hold on. What's this tweet? Oh, best audio? Okay.
God bless our president. I will die for him. I will die for that man, happily. I will die for him. Anybody want to mess with him, you mess with me first. He is a hero, that man.
You can fuck with me. I don't give a shit. Attack me. Steal from me. But if you mess with my friend, Donald Trump...
Look at it. There's Gatling guns in here and missile launchers. God bless America. God bless you guys. God bless. God bless the police. God bless you guys. God bless.
This shit is so fucking insane. What was he saying about missile launchers and grenade?
He passed right by you, folks. He passed right there. He was there. I swear to you guys. Right there.
Anyways. Yeah, there's Gatling guns in here and missile launchers. What is that? Yeah, I mean, that's a fan, right? The way, like, the very specific type of, like, cult-like support for Trump is totally just celebrity culture. Same with, like, even, like, for libs as well. Like, Fauci, the way that people liked Fauci was as a celebrity, because celebrity culture is so fucking entrenched that, like, that's the way you interact with politics. But yeah, it's all so fucking absurd. Anyways, let's watch this video by Non-Compete.
News on the march.
Oh, it's a little...
Dateline, April 30th, 1945, Berlin, Germany. The German High Command announced today that Adolf Hitler, the fierce commander of Nazi Germany, architect of genocide and aggressor in the war which has cost so many millions of lives, died today. He took his own life. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the survivors in the Führer bunker, and we will continue to pray for the health and safety of the remaining Nazi High Command officials.
Like, there's like a lib that goes back in a time machine, and instead of killing baby Hitler, they, like, play the Logic phone number song for him when he's in his bunker and try to, like, come on, suicide is not the option.
Hi, I'm American Johnson, and I'm not really an old-timey newsman. I'm a new-timey YouTube-type person, so yeah, Donald Trump got coronavirus. And I have to admit, my initial reaction was kind of reluctant joy. I mean, can you blame me? He's the most powerful fascist on the planet right now, and his negligence to take the virus seriously led to the deaths of
There's really good, actually, there's some tweet about how, like, a lot of libs, and I'm not calling Non-Compete a lib because I totally agree with the sentiment, but, like, a lot of libs thought that Trump getting coronavirus would lead to a better world, which is totally bullshit. It's not true at all. The reason why leftists enjoy him getting coronavirus is just, like, because it's funny. It's pure spite. Because, of course, there's, like, I mean, maybe, like, Biden has a much better chance.
200,000 Americans so far.
Yeah, it's a meme. There's
now that I've had a couple of days to reflect on the situation, I gotta say, I now feel totally unreluctant, unabashed, unrestrained joy.
Let's go.
Trump got coronavirus.
Oh, Hannah Reloaded. Thank you for the raid.
Yes.
We're getting so many raids, folks. Yeah. We love to see it. This is great.
Trump got coronavirus. Oh, it's pretty cool. I know I'm not alone in being happy.
I mean, this is like, overplayed or whatever, but it's happy. It's like funny in the way that the Joker finds things funny.
Because ever since Trump tweeted out his
it's
announcement
just twisted.
that he had it, my Twitter timeline has been a nonstop crab emoji celebration of exuberance. But then there are the other reactions. A few leftists and a lot of liberals have taken it upon themselves to assume the gloom and harsh the mellow of our collective cyber crab party. Of course,
it won't lead to
the
anything.
Thoughts and prayers coming from the DNC elites like Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Nancy Pelosi, because, I mean, of course we do. Neoliberalism is...
Even Ilhan said some statement about, like, I don't wish any ill will on the president. Because it's like, you exist in a liberal democracy. The liberal political climate, particularly as conservatives of American, like, if you want to be a serious politician, you can't, like, wish the president death. That's not old enough to know more better. Same. Thank you for the
decorous, after all. But
Sanders did too.
Then
Yeah,
there are our fellow leftists who have taken the contrarian position that this is no time for jubilation, that the expression of pleasure that fascists like Donald Trump, Chris Christie, and Kellyanne Conway have tested positive for COVID. There's a wide range of criticism being leveled by leftists at leftists for feeling fine that Trump got the 1-9. And since I'm in the Trump getting sick is 100% a good thing camp, I figured I'd run through the criticisms that I've been seeing and address them one by one, because I
do
think
feel
there's
bad
a little
for
more depth to the
Claudia
situation
Conway,
than a lot of people realize. So without further ado, here are the top 5 things leftists are saying to neg other leftists who are happy that President Donald J. Trump has been diagnosed with SARS-CoV-2 novel coronavirus.
People having that take is just you being controversial online. It's like, I want to, like, everyone agrees on something, and I want to be, like, the
Number 1,
transgressor.
we are leftists. We aren't supposed to take joy in suffering. This is probably the most convincing and most common argument I've seen. A lot of people are understandably uncomfortable with the celebration of the suffering of any human being. And, you know, to some extent, I completely agree. I personally don't want any human being to have to suffer. There gets to an extent
where it's like...
I do have
oh, yeah, of course,
empathy, and if
Glenn
it
had
were
that
up to me,
of course.
Nobody would ever have to suffer, not even
totally.
Donald Trump. I'm not sadistic, and I take no joy in the idea of Trump and his family having to
it's
go
so,
through
like...
pain. I have other reasons for thinking that Trump getting sick is good, which I'll get into later, but yeah, thinking about Trump having to go through pain in and of itself doesn't really do anything for me. That said, it doesn't bother me one iota if you take joy in Trump's suffering, because I'm not a feelings cop. This is the Feelings Police.
Yes.
We have you surrounded. Come out with your
feelings
hands up.
Cop shit is
you are
weird.
under arrest for the high crime of vibing. Remember, Donald Trump
did Anna Kay have like a contrarian take about it?
He is the most powerful fascist in the world. He oversees a genocidal concentration camp system that is mutilating and sterilizing women, among many other human rights abuses and eugenics programs. He's a mass murderer and a tyrant.
I mean,
and
she
we
just
are
likes being a
all
contrarian,
his victims. Right? And I don't know about you, but I don't like to tell victims that they're not allowed to feel a certain type of way about their oppressors and their abusers. Many of us are seriously traumatized, and I am not about to tell someone who has been beaten and gassed by federal police at protests, or who may have family in the camps, or who is currently facing eviction or otherwise suffering from any of the other countless crimes of the Trump administration. I'm not going to tell them they're not allowed to be happy that the abuser-in-chief got sick. I think we are entitled to our emotions and our reactions. And
that's an interesting critique of a lot of abolitionist stuff, is like what abolition tries to attempt to do with like restorative justice is like, you should ignore your emotions, particularly when they relate to like a feeling of desiring vengeance on someone who has wronged you. And one of the critiques is like, sometimes your emotions are telling you something about the world that is rational. You shouldn't
them without
discount
being
that.
guilt-tripped by our comrades for having a tinge of happiness that the billionaire fraud who is murdering and torturing and imprisoning us might just be having a bad time himself for once. I know this isn't the most facts and logic argument in the world. On the contrary, this is an argument from empathy. It's my empathy that both makes me unable to enjoy directly the thought of Trump being in pain, and
there's some other guy. Thank you for the
to understand why others might enjoy the thought of Trump being in pain, because we're talking about feels here, and feels are like super complicated, bro. And that being said, if you are someone who is upset about the idea that Trump is suffering because you are very empathetic and you just can't get excited, or
you don't have to validate the joy you feel.
Then
just
I
log
totally
off.
get that. I respect that. As I said earlier, I
it's
feel kind of like
bullshit.
that myself.
Don't bother
I'm certainly
arguing
not
with
saying you
people who are
have to be
shaming
happy that Trump got COVID. You are entitled to your feelings just as much as anyone else. And if you find yourself feeling sad for whatever reason because Trump got COVID, that's totally valid. You are entitled to your emotional reactions to things. The important thing when it comes to emotions is that we don't lose track of material reality and the work we have to continue doing as leftists. As long as we remember that there is a long road ahead of us, there's nothing wrong with simply having an emotion. Number 2, this is just like when liberals were celebrating that red states were having COVID surges.
Do
I've seen
people
this
say
argument
that?
a few times on Twitter and just...
It's like the Sips copy Charlotte Clymer take. Oh, it's the same thing.
No, it's not. I was
No,
disgusted
it's not.
when I saw liberals celebrating the fact that red states were having surges of COVID because I'm from a red state. I'm
It
from
mainly
South
just
Carolina,
affects
and I know that most
marginalized people.
living in red states
Biopower. Read fucking
are
biopolitics.
victims of capitalism.
The marginalized, the discounted populations within like a disciplinary society are always the ones thrown to the wayside. They're always the ones that don't get access to medical attention.
And fascism, not
They're allowed to
perpetrators
die.
of capitalism and fascism. So relishing in a heterogeneous group of millions of people, some of
I'll
whom are
just put it on
victims
10
and
minutes,
some of whom are
actually, 'cause I
not,
usually do that.
being exposed to a deadly virus that does not discriminate in any way based on character or principles or ideology is ghoulish and cruel-hearted. You're not going to find me saying otherwise. But there's simply no way for Trump to be considered a victim in this situation. If there's one human being in the United States of America that we can point a finger at to blame for all the misery, death, and suffering related to COVID, it's Donald Trump. It's just apples and orange man.
Oh yeah, also by the way, Trump dying, and this is maybe one of the reasons why libs don't want it so much, because the most like twisted like Joker pro chaos position is Trump dying. Absolutely. That's the closest America will be to a civil war. Totally. If you want the Trump era to go away, if you want to return to normalcy, Trump dying is like the least thing that could do. Like it's the least return to normalcy possible.
Can't believe I made an orange man bad joke. Number 3, this is not a victory.
When abolitionists and going through a lot of trauma and abuse has changed my perspective. Abusers absolutely have to be removed from the proximity of their victims. Still deserve that second chance. Yeah, but it also sort of complicates like restorative practices that require, or in some ways require like some consolidation between those who like survived abuse and the abusers.
Left to be celebrating. So another thing I've seen going around is that this is not a victory
Which is
we have earned.
relatively common
on
in a
the
lot of
left,
restorative
thus
justice.
we should not
like,
be celebrating.
But yes,
in other
absolutely.
words,
I agree
we don't
with
have
you.
the bragging rights, and we should be building our own celebrations instead of getting excited about an event we had nothing to do with bringing about. Which, like, yeah, of course, this wasn't a victory that we earned. But a lot of us on the left have been struggling
that's a
hard
valid
throughout
position,
2020,
again.
protesting, striking, raising money for mutual aid, organizing, agit-propping. It's been an extremely stressful, exhausting, unstable, terrifying year, and a lot of us are tired, frazzled, and worn the hell out from the constant struggle.
This is the
So,
Angie
like,
Speaks
maybe
take.
let us
What
have
is her
this
take?
moment, even if we didn't earn it. Trump is the top dog of all the enemies we've been fighting tooth and nail against for months on end. Maybe forgive me for savoring a little of his misfortune, even if I wasn't directly responsible for it. I mean, trust me, I know this isn't the end of that long
Deeply
road
comment.
towards
Thank you for
revolution.
tuning.
We have our work cut out for us.
We
Even
didn't
if
earn Trump
kicks
getting
the old
COVID. What does that mean?
proverbial bucket,
We didn't earn
we
it?
will still have our work cut out for us. Nobody is
Explain
under
that.
any illusions about that. Trust me, I wish we did live in the wonderful land of Oz, where all you have to do is go
Feels
up to
odd to personally to map the language of abuse over oppression. Well, restorative justice and prison abolition generally deals with the idea of harm in society. You know, deconstructing the concept of crime, and just how do we have a system that, and a set of systems, social organizations that deals with harm in a proper way, that reduces harm and, you know, properly heals harm that is caused. And in that sense, there is a lot of crossover between simple, like, yeah, between those two
the
concepts.
castle and melt the witch, and then everyone lives happily ever
And you know,
after.
the main difference being like a majority of harm caused in society are a result of structural oppression that need to be deconstructed.
But I know reality.
Oh, did he just address it? Oh, it was this thing. Oh, okay. It was that take.
Like that, we all know reality
Yeah,
ain't
yeah.
like that, and there's plenty of struggle ahead of us. We are well aware. So when folks say we're celebrating
Oh, I'm
too
blocked
soon
by them.
and
Okay.
acting like we
Well, I
somehow
guess I will
believe
look at that
Trump
tweet.
getting COVID is somehow the end-all,
Oh,
be-all, supreme victory for the left, I just gotta say, nice straw man. See what I did there? Like how I extended the metaphor with the B-roll? I'm pretty good at this YouTube essay thing. Number 4, Boris Johnson, a.k.a. the Eeyore position. This is perhaps the most annoying reaction I've seen to Trump getting COVID. A lot of folks are just doomering the fuck out of the situation.
More like Angie blocks, am I right,
well,
folks?
When Boris Johnson got COVID, it just made everyone support him even more. Nothing good's gonna come out of Trump getting COVID.
That's probably true.
If he
Nothing
gets
good will.
Really sick, everyone will feel sorry for him.
That's not
if
true at all.
If he recovers quickly, he'll just
totally
use
fair.
it to
Think of it as 2
dismiss
months.
the dangers of the disease.
No, this close to election night, Trump getting COVID and it being serious is like so fucking bad for him. That's the worst thing. I mean that's just a weird take. There's no correlation between.
Even more. Everything's gonna be
That's just
bad,
weird, right?
no matter what.
Good
It's just a weird
Lord. Some of you people just love
It's not
pooping up
logically
parties.
consistent.
This is an incredible opportunity for the left. And you want to know why? It's because it presents a massive, undeniable contradiction. And contradictions are the bread and butter of agitation propaganda. The best way to shame the shit out of capitalism
probably true.
and to point out to everyone that the emperors are butt naked is to shine a light on contradictions, magnify them, highlight these contradictions for the working class to see all the lies and failures, the cracks in the facade.
I mean,
the
yeah, it is
problems
absurd.
that drive
right?
this oppressive.
All of this, I was just saying this. All of this is so fucking absurd. It's so ridiculous that all this shit is happening.
Form of political economy. Now let's talk about Boris Johnson. In terms of data, support for Boris Johnson's government actually tanked after he got COVID.
It does not
I
look
know
good.
That's only one data point, and I'm not from the UK, so let's just say for the sake of argument that it's true that Boris Johnson did get a bunch of support after he almost died from the very disease he was downplaying and refusing to take meaningful
I would be willing to argue on the grand scheme of things, like the grand scale of like the living conditions of people, of marginalized people specifically. I would imagine that unless something like absurd happens and there's this like kind of, you know, the butterfly effect of it, you know, coalescing into a larger event, Trump getting COVID will probably not affect a lot of people's lives that much. Maybe there's like a tipping, it tips the scale in the election, something like that. But no, it's I don't know how.
Well, that would just mean that we on the left didn't do enough to take
important to
advantage of the
emphasize that it's
situation.
like-
We failed to seize the opportunity and to agitprop the shit out of the deliciously ironic
This is true.
circumstances which
This is
fully
absolutely
embody
true.
the hypocrisy and evil of Boris Johnson's
I totally agree
genocidal
with them.
negligence in the face of this pandemic. If we sit around having a
It's
pity
absurd,
party
right?
for ourselves now that Trump has COVID, if we take this time to brainstorm all the different ways that this might end badly for us instead of working hard to ensure that this situation works in our favor, we will have only ourselves to blame for whatever bad results do end up coming our way. As Carlos Marighella said in his absolutely must-read book, Mini Manual of the Urban Guerrilla, it is better to err acting than to do nothing for fear of making a mistake. Trump got COVID. The die is cast. There's nothing we can do about it now. These are the material conditions we have. It's now up to us whether we decide to seize the initiative.
The Angie point is, you know, has some point insofar as like, as the left in the shit that's happening, we are spectators. Like there is no effect, there is no capacity to affect things. But like, you know, like let people enjoy things, let people have.
And leverage.
That's just the case in politics right now, is that the left does not have that much effect. But
this to our best advantage or wallow in indecisive worry and dread while our enemies push to spin this in their favor. In her absolutely must-watch video series on dialectical materialism, Comrade Luna explains the role of the revolutionary.
This is the job of a revolutionary, to look at all the contradictions in the world and figure out which need to be negated to reach the outcome of a successful revolution. Of course, you can just quit. You can walk away and stop playing, but then the contradictions and negations go beyond your control and you will have no effect on who wins and who loses, which can have terrible results for other people. Which is why we must fight and do what we can to negate the contradictions so that we win.
So you see, now that Trump has COVID, now that this is a material fact, it's on us to use this fact towards our ends, towards our revolution. So start agitating. Put those contradictions to use, by golly.
Number 5, it's bad optics. But EJ, it makes the left look bad when we celebrate Trump getting sick. It's not good optics. I'm gonna have to do a whole video on this optics bullshit pretty soon, I guess, because I'm seeing it come up again and again in the leftist spaces I'm in, and I'm getting sick of it. You see, a lot of leftists seem to think that our struggle must revolve around a constant battle against fascists to win over the hearts of neoliberal centrists. It seems like
that was as edited as the Trump videos were. That audio right there.
You see, a lot of leftists seem to think that our struggle must revolve around a constant battle against fascists to win over the hearts of
It's like the
liberal centrists. It seems like a lot of folks on the left think our main priority needs to be trying to prove that we're more virtuous than Nazis to a bunch of privileged upper middle class white people. I find this absolutely absurd.
Online shit is far less important than you might think.
People we need to be prioritizing in our messaging are the people who are suffering the most.
Yes.
The people who already have every reason to hate Trump and the fascist, capitalist, imperialist politics he represents. Let's go for the low-hanging fruit here, folks. The millions of people across America and the billions of people around the world who are alienated and deeply oppressed.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to point out. Like, he fucked this up so much.
Sound a little wacky,
that he got it.
I don't think our revolution is going to hinge on comfortable suburban bootlickers who might be scandalized by Trump drinking bleach memes.
I do think that respectability politics is like affects not just rich people. I think it primarily affects rich people, but that's not necessarily the case. It sort of reminds me of like in Anti-Semitic Jew, which I was like just rereading. Sartre brings up this idea that like, oh yeah, and the working class in France are not anti-Semitic at all. It's only the rich people. Only rich people are anti-Semitic. It's like that's not true. So I think there is something to like, particularly in a context in which revolution isn't imminent, paying some nods to respectability politics just on a rhetorical context
is a game for liberals. Liberals have to constantly conceal,
but I still think this is
misconstrue, distort, and lie about their true intentions and positions and reality, because what they want isn't actually what's best for most of humanity. Reality is on our side, and we must own reality.
I would imagine a majority of my chat is millennials.
This is a golden opportunity to drop truth bombs all over the internet.
Maybe not a majority.
We should be rallying to point out these massive contradictions and owning it. There are now more community cases in the White House than there are in the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Let's own that shit. Let's scream it at the top of our lungs.
Poll time, democracy, democracy.
Take joy in it. We don't need to engineer or sugarcoat reality at all. We've been saying from the very beginning that the key to defeating COVID is putting human lives before capitalist profits, taking it seriously, and offering free testing and treatment and quarantine protection to anyone and everyone who needs it until the virus is completely contained. The fact that Trump called this virus a hoax, downplayed it for months, stood by as the death count climbed higher and higher and higher, and made fun of Biden on national television on the debate stage for wearing a mask as disease spittle sprayed from his mouth is a testament to his monumental failure and a golden opportunity to undermine his politics and his regime, which must not be squandered. So, in closing, Trump's sick. That's good. I'm happy about it. The end.
That's great. Follow non-compete. They're cool. Yeah, that's pretty much correct. What should we watch? It's mainly 18 to 24. Yeah, I was worried 18 to 24 would be too like large. Oh wait, that was 6 years. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done 22. But yeah, no, I guess it's mainly Zoomers. What should we watch? This. I mean, this is, it really is so fucking absurd.
Outside Walter Reed Medical Center, mega as usual.
We're going to pay a little surprise to some of the great patriots that we have out on the street.
Mr. President! And that he did. In an extraordinary scene, President Trump, waving, wearing a mask, and infected with a serious virus, made a surprise drive-by for the crowd outside the hospital. Their president...
All of the fucking people in that car have COVID.
And
100%.
sidelined by coronavirus, but the most faithful haven't left his side this weekend. The president's supporters...
Again, these people are going to support Trump even if he loses in November, by the way. Like, I would say a solid at least 5% of the population, maybe 10, like, will still fucking love Donald Trump after he's not president.
Gathered at
if that's a thing that happens.
Walter Reed have been waving the flag for Trump
course.
towards passing drivers, some who honked their horns, others whose reactions were not so nice.
We are the future of this country, and the future of America is America first. Yeah!
They'll support Trump when he dies. Absolutely.
Off the trail for
They'll think that there's some tweet about, there's a QAnon civil war if Trump dies between the people who thought he was poisoned by the deep state and the people who think that he's secretly hiding in like Cuba.
Now,
we still have to make America great again.
The Donald Trump re-election machine will plow ahead.
We're in a campaign. We have a month to go. We can't stay in our basement or shut down the economy.
I mean, this is a
indefinitely.
disaster.
We have to take it.
They got to keep doing the campaign with fucking Pence.
The Trump campaign.
Are we gonna watch a fucking Pence rally?
Game plan, Operation Mega, which will see Vice President Mike Pence and Trump family surrogates reach out to voters virtually and stump for the president in person.
Yes.
Make America great again.
I
You all
need
know
the
it's
Trump
so
Jr.
much more
rally.
than a slogan.
Just like bloodshot fucking red eyes, and he's fucking jittering. And he goes up in the crowd, goes up and speaks for the crowd, and he just fucking bombs. I'm so excited for that.
It's our mission.
Pence told campaign
so
staff
mainly
nationwide
1824.
he and Kamala Harris are readying for their first vice
50%.
presidential showdown Wednesday, and the implications of a COVID-hit White House
Wednesday?
will be in plain sight. The running mates
Bagel
will be
Bites,
seated
official.
12 feet apart
Thank you
on
for
the
the
debate
2-1.
stage instead
to
of
Bagel
7.
Bites.
The Joe Biden campaign thrust into the new Trump political reality.
I'm in a little bit of a spot here because I don't want to be attacking the president and the first lady now.
Biden pulling ads attacking Trump off the air.
Mr. Biden, have you been tested this morning
Jesus, they pulled the fucking...
for coronavirus?
I don't know, like, I was saying this before, that sounds like an absurd... Oh, the Suns debate, they need to do a fucking Suns debate.
And the campaign promising...
Yeah, absolutely, they Suns
to release
debate,
the
why
results
not?
of
This is the perfect time for a Suns
every
debate.
COVID-19 test Biden takes, though he won't be tested every day.
We are not concerned because we are being safe.
For City News, I'm Karen Ciolin.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was saying before. Whatever, it's just, shit's crazy, folks. Hunter versus Trump Jr. is the most entertaining thing that could ever happen. Bernie would have kicked Trump while he's down. I don't know. Because there is that's what I was talking about. There is a possibility that, like undecideds view that as, uncivil, and they don't like it. The Trump attack. To a certain extent, you could say, well, his failures are fairly obvious, and people might view it as bad taste. I mean, I wouldn't, and probably no one in this fucking chat would. But who fucking knows what undecided voters are like? But at least they're not pulling all of their fucking ads. At least that's the case, Because if that was the case, if it was literally, they're doing this not out of a respectability thing. I fucking hope. They're doing it out of, they did the calculus and they think it's gonna work. It's gonna do better. Which I don't, it sounds like a fake Sorkin bit, yeah. They're not pulling all of their ads. They're not pulling all of them. They're still running pro-Biden ads, and Biden's gonna solve the crisis or whatever. I don't know, man. I mean, fucking Nate. And when has Nate ever been wrong about anything in terms of Trump elections? 81. It's the highest it's ever been for Biden. Shrimp Fried Dizzy. Thank you for the 100 bits. Yeah, it would be worse. I mean, who knows? I mean, Biden doesn't fucking eat a Filet-O-Fish from McDonald's every day, at least. Whereas, again, that's literally what Trump does. That's... Yeah. But who knows? I mean, it doesn't... Oh, we can watch, a bit of this. This is unrelated, but, Jamie Harrison had a debate with, fucking...
Amy Barrett will be treated respectfully, I hope.
We're following the norms of the committee in terms of opportunity to question her. I want to compliment.
It's so like if Biden fucks this up, he was just like served the election it's the most easy mode fucking victory ever. Your opponent is fucking bedridden because of a infectious disease that it was their fault is spreading in the first place. The economy is tanking, like the fucking stock market's crashing.
President.
The idea, if easy selection fucking ever
Trump
of all
for
time.
sending over this fine woman. I hope she's not treated like Kavanaugh. Yes, she's religious. Yes, she's a devout Catholic. Yes, she has 7 children. And all of that to me doesn't matter. What matters, will she apply the law to the facts? And I'm looking forward to it. And one of my legacies as a United States Senator is that I've tried to be fair not only to Democrats when they appoint judges, but I've been a leader on getting conservative judges on the Supreme
Joshua
Court.
Rooks, thank you for
and the
doing.
best is yet to come in Amy Barrett.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, it was already
You know,
super easy.
sometimes
Absolutely.
listening to Senator Graham is like, it reminds me of playing Monopoly with my son. You change the rules. He changes the rules every time he gets.
Get his
You know,
ass,
Senator, you
King.
said, use my words against me. And you said it after the Kavanaugh meetings, not before the Kavanaugh hearings, after the Kavanaugh hearings. And your words, your promise was that no
we watched this before. I want to know his fucking response.
judicial nominee
How does he squirm out of
should
this?
be considered or approved or what have you in the last year of an election. And you even named President Trump when you said it. And so this is my thing. You know, my grandfather always taught me, he said, Jamie, a man is only as good as his word. Well, Senator, how good is your word when you made a promise to the American people? And even more, you made a promise to the folks in South Carolina that you wouldn't be doing what you're doing right now.
That's right.
And that's the problem that I have. The greatest, I think the greatest heresy that you could do.
You can honestly, literally only thank Donald Trump and Hope Hicks for me tweeting again.
As a public servant is to betray
I was
the
like,
trust of the people that you are.
I can't miss
you
this on
took an
Twitter.
oath to serve. And that's what you have done. Now, just be a man of it and stand up and say, you know what, I changed my mind. I'm going to do something else. But don't go back and blame it on somebody else for something, a flip-flop that you're making yourself.
So, if I may, I said in August, if an opening comes about, we'll see what the market will bear. Ms. Barrett's going to get confirmed because the president has the constitutional authority to do it. And here's what I can say about judges. When President Obama was president, I honored the fact that he won the election, and I voted for 2 people I wouldn't have chosen.
That's
and
awesome.
I've watched the Democratic Party try to destroy one conservative judge after another. Mr. Harrison encouraged.
I mean, this is actually a good example of why the Dems need to play dirty.
The filibuster.
Because they do, the Republicans do this shit where they're like, they try to call the Democrats hypocrites, or they try to bait the Democrats into like not being a hypocrite and giving the Republicans an advantage.
The first partisan filibuster in the history.
There's some precedent for Obama to, in like the last year of his presidency, to have put forward a Supreme Court. If it was like demonstrably true that the Senate would, regardless of his, nomination, say no.
The United States Senate. He cheered.
Well, why would I add, if it's 1,000-bit thing, why would I add it on BTTV? Oh, wait, no. You were calling me a cop.
The destruction of Brett Kavanaugh.
I have all of my BTTV emotes are full.
All I can say is that
anymore.
Amy Barrett is highly qualified. I'm the chairman of the Judiciary Committee. The president has every right to do this. And if you're counting on Mr. Harrison to ever vote for a conservative judge, you're making a mistake of high proportion. You can count on me for conservative judges.
Thank you very much.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking.
Okay, so it was a non-answer. That is something I will say. The Republicans aren't good at dodging questions like that. They're not as, like, if you want to watch someone dodge, like, a question which they're clearly, like, their ass has clearly been got, and they don't, like, watch how fucking Trudeau does it. Trudeau is like he's an expert at this type of shit at this point. I'm trying to think of a clip we could pull up of Trudeau, like, maybe this one.
You in the peach shirt, right in front. Yes. Go ahead. Sorry, go right there. Go ahead, please.
I mean, It's so good just watching him fucking squirm.
Welcome to Regina, Mr. Prime Minister. I would like to bring attention to comments you had made back in November when you had spoke about the gender and social impacts construction workers create in rural areas. Although not a construction worker, I myself am an oil field worker in addition to being a full-time university student and have spent my summers temporarily relocating to various rural areas in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba to work on oil field-related projects. During my time working in the oil field as a young female, I have come across some of the kindest and most respectful male co-workers and have created lasting friendships in the rural towns I had temporarily relocated to. I work very hard and have dedicated a lot of time in the oil field industry during my summer in order to keep up with increasing tuition.
I wanted a question about like indigenous stuff.
And I feel that you have painted myself, my co-workers, and friends in a negative light.
No, this is bullshit. Never mind. This one sucks. It's so funny how fucking cuck Trudeau is, because he gives like all of the oil interests in Alberta so much. Like what Trudeau, the 40 slip, what Trudeau should have done during the pandemic, during the crisis, is instead of just bailing out the oil industry, just letting it die and buying it up and nationalizing it. But he didn't. There we go. Oh, this is 19 minutes long. Maybe this one.
Hello, Mr. Trudeau. My name is Tars Bear.
We'll watch one of these, then we'll go back to.
There have been a total of 23 elected prime ministers in Canada. Treaty 6 was signed August 23rd, 1876 at Fort Carlton, Saskatchewan. How do you intend to honor the promises your ancestors made with mine, exactly written in all the signed treaties across Canada, to make up and pay for the acts of genocide our ancestors were subject to long before and after the signing of Treaty 6? And how do you, Justin, with all your politicians and representatives, plan to right the wrongs the past 22 elected prime ministers have failed? My ancestors helped you once in your time of need, and when they first came to this land, now Canada, are we not considered Canadians as well? If we are, why do you allow the first people...
I'm sorry. Someone sent this. This is a non-verified account, so I don't fucking know. U.S. attack near the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. This was an hour ago? Is there any... Yes, Baghdad is Iraq. Thank you. Did they say Iran? Who said Iran? Did I say Iran? I don't think I did. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about this. If there's more about that.
To endure and live in third world conditions.
Great, thank you.
To my cousin Liz.
Thank you very much for your question, Tara, and it goes to the heart of what it is we need to do, and that's why I instructed every single one of my ministers, regardless of what their responsibility was, that they need to understand that the most important relationship we have as a federal government is a relationship with Indigenous peoples.
It's just so
and what we have to start doing is recognizing first and foremost that the federal government can't fix this. We can't fix it on our own. That everything the federal government has tried to do over the past centuries, some of it very well-meaning, but horribly wrong in its consequences, happened to Indigenous peoples.
Oh yeah, this is
the future that we have to build will be
Virgin Trudeau.
Indigenous peoples, going back to the, as you point out, the very core and essence of the original treaty relationship, of the original relationships, which was built on respect, openness, shared responsibility, shared stewardship, partnership, that has been completely removed from the discourse right now. But I will highlight one thing, that for all my commitment to renewing this relationship, I wouldn't be prime minister right now if it wasn't for the fact that the people who've been...
He's much better at squirming. That wasn't that much squirming. I gave a bad example, but anyways. I guess this is also just think of like a cultural thing of apologizing a shit ton. Very good at saying sorry. That's sort of just what Trudeau does. He goes up and he says, "I'm sorry for the thing I did. I'm sorry for the colonialism. I feel very bad about it." And then I'm not going to do anything, actually. Preliminary pictures of a missile attack. Okay, that's a local source, right? That's a lot of... Why is there so little about this? U.S. Embassy in central Baghdad. That's like a big deal. A missile attack is from like another state. Or some sort of like... Oh. Oh, so it's like a... I mean, I don't fucking... What is this supposed to... What is that supposed to be? Oh, is that the attack? It was just like an off... Oh, okay. It's not like a... It just like hit the outside of it? Yeah, there's an alarm. The vicinity of... okay. Rocket in the area. Okay, well someone tried to hit it and they missed. Is that it? Was that shrapnel? I think they missed. I mean, the main thing you think of immediately is like Iran. Katyusha rockets towards embassy compounds. So it's just towards the... I guess they're fairly inaccurate. I mean, who fucking knows who did it, I guess. There's a lot of people that do not want the US in Iraq right now. Including like a majority of the Iraqi parliament, a majority of like the Iraqi Kurd parliament as well, which was the actual legal pretext for America staying in Iraq. And they explicitly want them gone. Ignored? What'd you say? There's a lot of... New Chuck Grassley. Who the fuck is that? Turn to History Channel to see if there was any history. There was not any history. Instead, The Pickers, she insisted we watch. Big mistake on my part. He doesn't fucking miss, man. I could not have said it better myself. Did I wish Nesua happy birthday? Oh, I need to do that. Yes. Shout out to Nesua. I saw that. Happy birthday, King. I'll like message him too. Biden's national lead. Oh yeah. Is this explicitly after the debate? Joe Biden's lead has nearly doubled since Tuesday's debate. Jeez. I mean, this is the thing where like we were saying how awful fucking Biden did during the debate, and it's like I guess he did fine. Clearly, the only thing that matters is how people think about the situation.
Good Sunday morning. If there's any good to come from the terribly
Good morning.
unsettling
Sunday morning
news that the President of the United States has been infected and hospitalized with the coronavirus, it is this. Perhaps Americans who have flouted medical advice to social distance and wear masks will now take this disease a lot more seriously. This is all happening just as the country is experiencing a rise in cases amid fears that colder weather will lead to yet another deadly wave of the pandemic. Yesterday, the White House initially offered a far less upbeat report on Mr. Trump's condition.
I saw one with +8.
Creating public confusion and further doubts about whether we can trust what this administration ever tells us. There are many questions still to be answered. Can and should Vice President Pence campaign while Mr. Trump is hospitalized?
Oh, increase. Sorry.
Will there be more presidential debates? And if so, will they be in person? And could Senate Republican plans for Amy Coney Barrett's fast-track confirmation get derailed? The news
Because
came
they will be,
after
right?
a debate performance that was roundly criticized.
2 or 3 of the 10 required senators, Republican senators, are quarantined. But that's not going to last for like a long time.
For the president's behavior.
Not plus
Our new
714. I
NBC
see
News
what
Wall
you
Street
mean.
Journal
Yeah,
poll
yeah.
shows a
Right,
dramatic
okay.
change in an election that had been free of dramatic changes until now. Joe Biden leads Mr. Trump among registered voters by a shocking 14 points, 53-39.
I mean, yeah, he
Under
just got
40.
it.
By far, Joe Biden's biggest lead in our poll so far.
IP
Just 2
Mod,
weeks
thank
ago,
you for the
Biden's
Joe
lead
Bezos bucks.
was just 8 points, 51-43.
I mean, who knows what
Word of
happens?
caution, our pollsters point out that this poll was...
History is like decades are happening in weeks right now. We're in that
taken
point.
right after a consequential and extraordinarily unsettling event, that debate. Translation, these numbers could be quite volatile. So we're going to wait to see if this Biden surge is a short-term thing or part of a trend. Begin with our own Kelly O'Donnell at Walter Reed Medical Center.
Fuck, Lenin again. He always comes back. The West thought they were rid of Lenin, and then just pops out of nowhere. History books in 2050 are going to be interesting. I'm sort of sad that the Melania tape about her saying how much she hates Christmas was like right before the COVID stuff, because I feel like that deserved its own news cycle. Like I wish that leaked at another point, because it's very funny. I mean, you know, there's also the despicable shit she says about like migrants, etc., which is not a surprise. Of course she fucking hates them. Of course she does. Anyways. Oh yeah, 750 taxes was another thing. Although I think a lot of people don't give a shit about like the personal stuff. Is Santa responsible for Trump getting COVID? Oh fuck. Yeah, that's it. If Melania cared more about Christmas. Yeah, who knows? Maybe that's it. Doesn't have a statue of her unveiled. She did, yes, because her other statue like melted or whatever. I mean, she is the most significant Slovenian in Western culture right now. Like, it used to be Zizek, and now it's her. What other Slovenians are there that are significant? It was Word and it burned down. That's it. Oh, the statue is awful, yes. The Borat is from Kazakhstan, but you were close. Almost. Very similar countries. Statue melted for raw materials to sell in the black market. Yeah, that's what happens. Anyways, what should we watch? Oh god. This was recommended to me. Do we watch it, chat? Official deepfake video, Joe Biden presidential debate featuring Eminem. Oh yeah, there's a Slovenian NBA player. Tito is a Croat. Oh, we're watching it. It's funny.
Now everybody from the 313, put your motherfucking hands up and follow me. Everybody from the 313, put your motherfucking hands up. Look. Now while he stands tough, notice
listen, man.
have his hands
I do live in a trailer
the
park.
three worlds got you gassed up. Now who's afraid of the big bad horse? 1, 2,
Oh,
3,
Jesus
to
Christ.
the 4, 1 pop, 2 pop, 3
Doncic
pop,
is
4
Slovenian, right?
pop,
I
3
thought Luka
pop,
was a
2
Serb.
pop, 1, your
No,
pop,
okay,
he
that's
pop,
what it's
your pop, none. This guy ain't no motherfucking MC.
No, he's a
I know
Slovenian.
everything he's got to say against me. I am white, I am a fucking bum. I do live in a trailer with
What
my
is
mom.
the meaning of
My
this?
future is an Uncle
What is
Tom.
this supposed to
I do
mean?
got a dumb friend named Cheddar Bob who shoots himself in his leg with his own gun. I did get jumped by all 6 of you chumps. And wait,
I
this
don't
is my
understand.
girl. I'm still standing here screaming the free world. Well, never try to judge me, dude. You don't know what the I've been through, but I know something.
Okay, anyways. It's a rap battle? I mean, better than epic rap battles of history, I guess. Who cares he's spitting, you're right, I'm sorry. He's like Eminem, basically. Biden and Eminem are the same type of white person, and I won't be backing that up. All of human history has led to this moment. I unironically believe that, not for the Biden Eminem rap video, but for Trump getting COVID. There's something about like the the world historical significance of that like history is just like diverged into this one moment or this one particular individual in this like particular event, and everything afterwards will be some sort of dialectical reflection of it in a Hegelian sense. Slovenes are just Slavic speaking Austrians. That's true. Is there an epic rap battle for Trump and Biden? Let's find out. Epic rap battle. All of these videos look epic. I love how we've watched these two already on stream. We've got this one, which is super cool, I'm sure. And then featuring Weird Al Yankovic, Pog. Oh God, we're clicking it. Is it this one? First one or second one? I think we want Weird Al, right? Yeah, the second one. Yeah, Weird Al. Oh, he's like the moderator.
People are breathing out this living poison and trying to float into my orifices. I lost my car keys. I had to steal my neighbor's Segway to get here today. And on the way, I crashed in this dumpster. And these kids are making a video, and now I'm on TikTok. I can't. Excuse me. Yeah. Being not hysterical, despite, things. Oh, I can do that. Dignified.
Al is twisted. This is true.
Welcome to the first presidential debate. Our first question in the key of G sharp minor is
No, I can't comprehend this video existing.
I'm so sorry.
I'm hallucinating this. No, I'm asleep. Someone wake me up.
We should be providing people the help they need. He knew back in February it was a deadly disease. What did he do?
Oh, he made some rhyme.
Technology you knew.
Really?
He waited and waited and waited, and he didn't even tell you.
President Trump did a phenomenal job. People said that. Well, we got the gowns, we made the ventilators, we got the masks. I don't wear a mask like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. The biggest mask I've ever seen.
That was a great one. The biggest mask I've ever seen is so awesome.
Will we ever get back all the jobs we lost? Or should we set up 11 million Etsy shops?
My economic plan would create $1 trillion in economic growth. He has no intention of making it better for you all at home.
I brought back football. It was me.
What?
Big Ten football, and I'm very happy.
Who's it gonna be?
They want to take out the cows. The cows.
Weird. I believe
Now here's the deal.
Yankovic is a Serb. Oh, he's a Croat. I don't know.
He said he could eject some
Someone find out so I can have an opinion on it.
Supreme Court is truly supreme.
Get him. Get him. Yes. Got their
People have a
asses.
right to say who's the Supreme Court nominee.
Our biggest inducer from Notre Dame. We have a phenomenal nominee.
I ran out of questions, but still got a while. It's time to drop some bars. Let's see how you freestyle.
In Europe, they live their forest cities. They're called forest cities. It's a forest city.
You know, he talks about the art of the deal. China's perfected the art of the steal.
That was a bar.
Philadelphia.
Yeah. No, that was clean.
He's just afraid of the left.
Stand back and
Art of the
stand
deal, art of the
by.
steal.
There are very fine people on both sides.
He's
He said
spitting.
maybe we should drop a nuclear weapon on hurricanes.
The cars have computers all over the place.
Who's it gonna be?
They want to take out the cows. The cows.
In the West Wing.
This feels like it. This feels like this video belongs in like 2012.
He has no idea what he's talking about.
We're living in the apocalypse. I'm begging you to put a stop to this, pretty please.
Keep yapping, man.
The people understand.
He doesn't have a plan.
Exploding trees, COVID-19, hurricanes with names past the letter Z, conspiracy theories about vaccines, murder hornets coming from across the sea, too many memes about World War III, can't tell what's hell or reality, earthquakes ruining my whole week, 'cause I dropped my keys.
It's hard for me to think about this coming out 5 days ago. I can't.
Who's it gonna be?
They want to take out the cows. The cows.
In the
the deal? He has no idea what he's talking about.
We're living in the apocalypse. I'm begging you to put a stop to this, pretty please.
He said he could inject some bleach. They cheat.
The material conditions that make us terrible in our president.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it? Keep yapping, man.
If you'll excuse me, the murder hornets come out at midnight, so I've got to go home and seal the door to my purge room. And I'll take this light breeze with me.
It's cool. It's cool though that there is like, because these were like, these types of videos were fucking a classic video in like, you know, 2010, 2012. I absolutely remember being like 12 and watching this shit. But like, it's very interesting how like the psyche of apocalypse, like of like impending apocalypse is like everything is the same. It's like it's a time machine back to 2012, except the understanding that the world's ending. That's the only thing that's affected it. It's so like eerily the same in a way that I wouldn't have thought was possible to be reproduced in 2020. Oh yeah, I mean all of this shit. We won't watch these. I don't want to go on a deep dive on these videos because I don't like it. But yeah, basically. All right, let's watch this. This is a slight divergence. We'll get back to Trump stuff after. Not Even a Show, friend of the stream, Chris James. Follow them on Twitch as well. No Prank Radio. He's a prank thing. Adam Conover? Like, oh shit. Damn. Thank you for the raid. Pog? Hello. We are about to watch. I hope you had a good stream. I didn't know you streamed. That's very funny. Adam ruins Liv posting. Am I right, folks? I don't need ruining. I've already been ruined. By the frickin' Cheeto in the hospital. Well, let's show it to Adam Conover then. Okay, we're going to watch the what's it called?
Yes.
Maya, thank you for gifting Adam a sub. We're going to watch the end of the season for Not Even a Show. It's a very funny prank call thing. Enjoy your channel. Thank you. This is very funny. I would absolutely recommend also following Chris James, Not Even a Show.
Of the Not Even a Show. I am
a
the
very
president
cool left-wing
CEO of NEAS Corp. My name is Kill Bumfern.
Are you excited for Borat 2? I am extremely excited. I hope it's as good as the original.
To deliver some news to you, there was a mix-up. The estate of Colonel Dufresne approached us and asked that we put his name on the episode as showrunner in name alone, and we thought, what's the harm? He's dead. But I guess it turns out he's not actually dead, and so he went ahead and ran the show, and Chris did as well, and they each submitted their own season finale, and the only fair thing to do is have you watch.
I thought the thing of him telling that Christian doctor that like he impregnated his daughter was like very funny.
And decide which is better and who should be the
like
host.
That's why Borat was funny. Is just like him doing a arguably offensive impression, and like freaking out xenophobic Americans.
Next year. Let's start with
and
Chris's.
doing like ironic anti-Semitism. That's sort
hey,
of
we have a caller
makes
line.
Borat
Good morning,
Borat.
Marcus.
Oh, hi, this is
We can watch the
Marky
trailer after
calling
this.
here from the Not Even a Show. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing beautifully this morning. We're doing there's 2 season finales. I'm doing
I
one
think he's
cold
like a
opens
left-leaning
right now,
guy,
and
right?
so I need to one-up
That
Snoop,
sounds like a...
who is apparently, I thought was deceased, but is not. Is still
I
alive
saw.
and kicking
I
and
think we
doing his
watched
thing.
that,
So I
didn't
just
we?
need you to say,
The
let's
like philosophy tube interview.
start the show.
We will watch NES.
All right, man. Let's start the show. Thanks for calling, man. Thanks for checking into the Ralph Graves Jr. show.
Oh, he said it. There you go.
That was wild.
That's the best cold open bit ever.
Sorry if you thought it so, but this is not even a
Have you
show.
seen Who's
I'm
America?
sorry
Oh,
if
it's
you
so
thought
fucking
it so,
good.
but this is not
Who's
even
America
a
is so
show. I'm
good.
sorry if you thought
Most
it
of that
so,
I
but
don't
this
think I
is
can
not
show on
even a
stream.
show. We've got the pranks, we've got the songs, and all of that is good to go. But the fact remains that this shit is still not a show.
I'm sure, right? There's a lot of that stuff. But it's so good.
Don't panic. We made it to the end of another year of NEAS, and we're all better for it. I'm your host, as always, Main Man Chris, a.k.a. MMC, a.k.a. FMC, a.k.a. Finale Man Chris. And I'm here with a wonderful season finale for you. And yes, I'm well aware that Colonel Dufree also submitted a season finale, and I'm aware that it's going to play directly after this episode, but I think we should just forget about that and worry about the episode I have for you. And it is a beauty, as we've got calls to Jesse Lee Peterson, Patrick Netherton, as
good.
well as the return of Longmont Potion Castle.
Yes.
First, though, speaking of returns, we've got a big return
2 hours
this
of
week.
clips? What do you mean
as
clips?
It's the return of the man known as
Longmont
JJ
Potion is
McCartney,
so fucking good.
the shirt
I'm
boy
so
who brought
glad
so many of you to the
that I
channel
learned
is
of his
back.
existence.
And folks, we were there waiting for him. Not only
I was
that,
watching Longmont Potion for like maybe 3 or 4 hours.
but we also
listening
got a
to it.
song parody done
After that
of the
stream, we
song
watched
We
that
Are
shit.
Young by the band Fun, and it was performed by the actual lead singer of the band Fun, Nate Roos. So
Oh,
without
fun.
further ado, let's kick it off. Check it out.
I'll give it a like. You gotta.
It is pretty crazy. Now I want to go to I believe we have
Oh,
Larry
YouTube
on the
clips?
line.
Oh, okay.
Larry, where are you
Right,
calling
right.
from?
I'm in Ohio,
Ohio. What part of Ohio are you in, Larry?
Buckeye Lake.
Good to have you with us, Larry. I wanted to get your take on this as well, and say hi to Big Leon as well from Michigan. Let's hear
thought he
your
stopped
take on what
streaming.
happened there. And
What happened to JJ?
Why do you think the police tased this woman?
Well, I'll just say your back. Your back's got a shirt on it. Your back's got a shirt on it. The shirt boy is back. Woo, woo, woo.
Got him. Headshot. Headshot.
You feel better about yourself, Larry?
Oh, he hung up. Larry hung up. Yeah. He's
It
he
didn't
got so
hang up.
excited because he's still waiting for his testicles to drop.
And
You know, it's just one of those things. But seriously, Leon, do you mind if I call you Leon, or what do you prefer?
That's fine.
Okay. Okay. We go to the phones.
JJ's
and we're
burns
gonna
are the
begin.
best.
I don't know
He
who
just
this
calls
is,
you
but
gay.
hello, you're on the JJ McCartney show. You want to talk
That's it.
about the arrest of the Christians in Idaho?
The arrest of the Christians?
JJ, this is Dewey.
Dewey?
What do you got going on?
I'm here to talk about the hoopla down over in Moscow.
Where are you calling from?
what
Dewey, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pasadena, California.
okay.
Home of the Rose Bowl.
And I'm just
Yep.
here to talk. Yeah, home of the Rose Bowl, home of a good Christian man named Dewey. And I want to say that there's a bunch of hoopla going down there in Moscow, and I think it's absolutely reprehensible.
Okay. What about it upsets you the most?
Where's that one?
Well, you know, I do a lot of things. I pray daily. Do you pray daily?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
I'm finding myself on my knees for these peaceful protesters who showed up, just wanted to sing a hymn, which I love to do every Sunday, and it seems like there was a big bunch of trouble, and that really troubles me. So, you know, I guess I'm finding myself just praying for them, and I'm praying for the shirts off their back.
Got him. Got his ass.
Bless you.
I mean, it's so easy to own him.
Fine.
He makes it so easy.
Fine slime bag you are.
You really can't help
Thanks
yourself.
for stopping by, trying. Yeah, you could tell he was really trying to drag it out, wasn't he? He really was. Oh, yeah. I'm going to find a way to say shirts.
I'm going to find a way to say shirts.
Yeah,
That's
got
what I'm
you.
going to do.
Let's go to Mike in Ohio. Hello, Mike. Welcome.
Hi, Mike. I'm Mike. Sorry. Hi, JJ. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about, you know, the liberal freakout. I don't know if you've seen. I mean, you were playing the video, obviously, about RBG dying, and they're just, you know, the weeping and the gnashing of teeth. And I don't know what your least favorite stance of RBG's was, but I always hated where she came down on the shirt fit.
They've broken him so much.
Oh, yeah. You're so funny. How funny? Boy,
Oh, yes.
Tell you what.
JJ Snap.
You're so dang
Oh,
funny.
this is his bit.
Yeah.
Pre-recorded.
The liberal freak out.
He's too mad to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen.
He's too mad to do the bit.
It seems as though the only thing worse than the liberal freak out is the disgusting way.
Get them.
That certain people
finish
choose
them.
To deceive.
I know that you stopped streaming months ago. I know us calling played a part, but between the seams and fabric streams, the holes in my old favorite tee, you know, I was hoping hard that you'd come back. So it's time. The year's closing.
Those are fucking good, actually.
Down, but you came back home, JJ. You are back, and so we'll call about your shirts. I know it hurts, but it's all we know. Well, JJ, you are back.
This rocks.
And so we'll call about your shirts.
There's so much effort that goes into it.
But it's all we know.
Please subscribe to them, etc.
After the first presidential debate, one thing seemed quite clear. Both candidates were very, very confused on the stage. But having said that, we weren't entirely certain just how confused they were.
Right?
And so we decided to call an expert on being confused, Jesse Lee Peterson. Check it out.
Oh, JLP is great. Amazing.
It will happen.
Amazing. Jeff is a first-time caller out of
it's
Seattle, Washington.
JLP is a very bad man, but he's very funny.
Hey, Jesse. Those debates last night were crazy, man.
It was.
Yeah, I thought both of them honestly seemed quite out of it and a little bit confused, but I'm not an expert on being confused, so I thought I would ask you, a famously confused man, do you think that they were confused?
I thought that...
it rocks. He keeps going. Oh, he's confused.
When I saw the president, I was thinking that maybe someone coached him too much as to make sure you don't
I'm
go
curious.
off, make sure you don't...
I genuinely am curious how in on the bit JLP is.
So, make sure you do it this way. Because with people like the president who is of common sense, and...
That's right.
If someone tried to coach him, it's hard for him to really do it the right way during the debate. But with Joe Biden, I'm not surprised that they coach him because Joe Biden didn't know where. That's why he kept reading his notes. He didn't know that it was even Monday night. He wanted to where's my wife, right?
He's got it.
But it was all right. I love the president, so it was all right.
It's a perfect
right, so
response.
you're presently pretty confused, I guess.
Yeah, he was all right. How long you been gay?
Got his ass.
How long you been gay?
Got him. He called him
Jesse,
gay.
most people are watching you as a joke.
How long you been a homosexual?
Yeah, it's
How long you been a homosexual, Jeff?
Cause you sound like one.
Thank you, Jeff. Back in a moment, folks. Hate is coming in with the hate news.
I don't mean disrespect, okay? I respect you.
Area resident Larry Caldwell was the one who woke up to find his home missing its chimney.
Well, I woke up and went
I think that's
outside
the
to
bar.
see if that
If
awful
JLP says you're
newspaper
gay,
boy had delivered
then you
my
pissed him
paper.
off.
And guess what? He hadn't. He never does. 3 straight months with no paper. I mean, I don't know what the hell I'm paying for. My other neighbors get their paper. So I backed into him a couple times pulling out of my driveway. Big deal! Just what the hell is he doing with the papers he isn't delivering anyway? Selling them to bird owners?
Gregoire,
Oh, that's
thank you
so
for the 3 months. I mean, I don't know. Do you think JLP is confused?
The tailgater has been calling Patrick
I do, and I am
Netherton for as
homosexual,
long as
so-
I can remember, and as long as he can remember, that's for
Guess it
sure, because of
tracks.
all the drinks of alcohol that he has. But one thing that's never really been covered and never really been delved into is whether or not Patrick Netherton actually likes Gator. So let's find that out. Check it out.
Rogers, do we have Gator on the line? Is that what I understand? Been a while since we've heard from our man Gator. Gator, what's up?
Hey, is this me?
I don't know. You're the only one that can tell us that.
That's what people ask when they call into a radio show, Patrick, is they say, is this me? It's the standard radio fare, my friend.
Well,
How are ya?
we don't have enough callers that people are on hold while other people are talking. So basically, if anyone's being talked to, they know it's them because they're the only person on the line.
Fair enough, my friend. I heard you talking about, you said if they let fans in the stadium. I'm not sure. I've been watching some of the sports on the TV. I think they got fans in the stadium, Patrick. I don't know what you mean because I hear them.
Yeah. They at least have fan noise in the stadium, and they've got cardboard cutouts.
Dark green boxes, cardboard cutout.
So, look, actually, more probably the at least for most of the game, they probably make more noise with throwing out the crowd sounds than they do with the actual crowd there during most of the game.
I don't know what you mean. I think that the actual crowd is there, and I believe that they are, and I believe that until I hear it with my very ears. But that's not what I'm calling about, really. The truth of it is, it's the season finale, and I'm doing a little retrospective of all of my calls, and I want to talk about the first. Do you know the first show I ever called, Patrick?
I don't.
It was the DA show, Damon Alban and Aaron.
Right.
Didn't he do the overnight show?
Back in the day.
I got no idea. The days blend into the nights for me, my friend.
He's a motherfucking
Everything is blackness.
No, I called a lot of shows. I've called many. Matt Wyatt is another one. This guy, Tony Bruno, a couple other people.
Sure.
But really, the only show I've ever loved and the only show I really like is your show, Patrick. And that leaves me with a really important question, and I'm serious about this. Do you like me?
Do I like you? Well, the problem is, Gator, I don't
Oh,
really
no.
know you.
Oh, no.
Like, I know your persona that you call in with
Oh, no.
on the line, but we're all playing a somewhat fictionalized version of ourselves.
We're all wearing
on the
a mask,
airwaves. So I
man.
can't say whether I like you,
deep.
yes or no.
That's deep. And you know what? I see what you're saying, Patrick. I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
You want to take this relationship off the air and make it more personal and get involved in each other's lives. I am absolutely hearing you loud and clear, and I will be contacting you, Patrick, and I can't wait to start this friendship. I've never had one before. I don't know how this is going to work.
It'll be a new experience for you, sir. Thank you, Gator. Do I have to call him Gator, or do I get to call him by his actual name?
2 weeks ago, we had a collaboration with legendary prank caller Longmont Potion Castle. He brought his unique brand of pranking to the channel, and we
It's
loved
so
it so
good.
much that we
He's
decided
so
to have him
fucking
back
funny.
for the finale. And let's check out as he calls this random traffic and weather radio station to discuss the debates. Check it out.
Yes.
Keep an
He's
eye
a
on it.
mad
It's very
genius.
interesting. I had some of the pictures.
Some of the pictures here, actually.
If people care, I don't know if people believe in this kind of stuff, but look at his wrist. There's
Some
a little.
say this is just a bunch of
wire,
conspiracy.
and I don't know.
This is a bunch of malarkey.
There's a pen.
Interesting. Keep an eye on it.
Let's go back to
It's
the
a
phone.
pen.
Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Got you.
Oh, yeah, hi. I'm just here coping with last night's debate. The cacophonous bloviating, the obstinate prancing, the veritable Donnybrook of a debate. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
Sure. Yeah, I
was
agree.
trying to think of what to liken it to, and We have all heard the legend of the Algonquin furrier who stood his ground, was ensconced, and
Who amongst
you
us?
just whittle that down,
The
though.
Algonquin furrier.
And it's every bit as circuitous as the gypsy Svengali. Every bit as circuitous. The gypsy Svengali, who in biblical times dangled the parallelogram that we all remember so well. And it's the same with the compunction found in that lexicon of...
I don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, no.
How much longer would you let him go?
Oh.
I was just listening by to see how long.
Yeah, okay.
I zoned out at one
Two
point.
more.
219-845-1100. A lot of big
Don't
words in there. I
hang
think that's
up.
above
Yeah.
us sometimes, too.
Look, I know we already called JJ once,
very
but
funny.
the truth is we missed him, and I know you missed him as well. So we've got a double dose of JJ on this episode, as we called him Friday morning after the president had found out that he tested positive
yes.
for coronavirus.
Yes. You gotta ask him what he's saying about that.
And let's head to the telephone. What do you say? And we'll begin with Richard in the nation's capital. Hello, Richard.
Hey, did Donald Trump die of coronavirus?
Yeah.
Got him.
Oh, you're such a goof. You're such a goof. You're such a goddamn goof.
Yeah, get him.
Goof.
Get him, dude.
Yeah. Too bad he didn't make it on the show. Sorry about your brain, Richard.
Didn't make it on the show?
Did they even try to operate? That's my question. We go to Jake, I think. Hello, Jake.
Did he die?
You got family in Omaha, North Platte, and Norfolk?
Nice.
Yeah, you know Norfolk? It's like a real small town out there.
Yeah, I know where it is. That's where Johnny Carson grew up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
His
exactly.
idol.
And that's also where they make really nice shirts.
He knows it's coming.
Yeah, good for you.
He's
Good for
like,
you. God bless you. Thank you for calling today. It means so much that you took
it
the
never
time to
gets
call
old.
us today.
It never
Really,
gets
it
old.
does. It means so very much. And we appreciate you so much.
What's the deal with the shirt?
God-
Literally where it comes from is they started prank calling him by just calling in and complimenting his shirt and just saying, I just really like your shirt. And he got very mad.
Willikers.
See, folks, no respect at all. None.
That's it. There's nothing
And
else.
these are the people.
There's no...
These are the cyber terrorists
literally
out
it.
there, the mercenaries.
It's so fucking funny.
That they don't respect anything anybody says or does. All they want to do is tear down, especially conservatives. And so what do? They try and make a mockery of us and our show, and they've been doing it for years.
And you know what I say? I pray for these people.
Yeah.
Because they are so ridiculously lost.
It's the like he goes in between providing credible death threats and like
All
praying
right,
for
everybody,
them.
that's the end of this
Which is
episode
so good.
and the end of the year for me. And I hope you
All right,
enjoyed the
this is
year.
the first
I think
half.
it was a real
There's
good
another
one. It
half.
was a lot of fun.
It's a twofer.
Next 3 weeks will be super cuts. It'll be a best of next week, a JJ super cut number 2 the following week, and a Tech Head Terry super cut the week after that. I guess another episode's going to play now. Colonel Dufresne has whatever he has, and I guess watch it and decide which is better, but you already know mine is. And don't look into why he has calls of mine on there. Don't pull the thread. As far as, why would Chris be doing a call on Colonel? Don't, just leave it, okay? Just leave it. Bye.
Oh yeah, I was gonna call in because he does a show on Twitch. Okay.
Hey,
Was he live right now?
Absolute last minute of the day. We'll try to take a real quick call, but we don't have a whole lot of time. Good morning.
I don't know how I would do that on stream.
Stoop
as
calling
before.
from the Not Even a Show. How are you this morning?
How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm already getting you laughing. This is great. I'm doing the cold open for the Not Even a Show, so it's good. I don't need a whole lot of time. Basically, we're doing dueling season finales, so Murky's already probably done his cold open, and I need to make sure that I get mine done good and solid. So I just need you to say, let's start the show.
Stand by. 3, 2,
Oh, shit.
1. Let's start the show.
That was like a fucking real one.
Oh, there's no way he did that well. You guys are great. See ya.
You take care.
Yeah.
I'm totally lost, but anyway, whatever. Been there
He's a good
before.
sport.
I got that T-shirt,
Yep.
so it's not that big a deal.
He's good at genuinely great
We just
attitude
made
to
somebody's
have.
day, so
You
I-
can tell he's good at being lost.
It's a good thing. Yeah.
There you go.
And he just fucking rolls with it. I have to respect that.
Sorry if you thought it's over, this is not even
I
a
sort
show.
of relate to
I'm sorry
that.
if you thought it's over, this is
I mean,
not
I'm not
even a
senile,
show. I'm sorry
you know,
if you thought
but I'm
it's
sort of
over,
am.
this is not even a show. We've got the pranks, we've got the songs, and all of that is good to go.
We've been over this. I've watched
But
enough
this
Joe
shit
Biden
is
that I
still
have his brain
not the
now.
show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the official season
shit.
finale of the Not Even Show. I am Colonel Dufree, and considering I will be the new host
Colonel
moving forward after
Dufree,
you vote
Chris
this
doing
episode
titles.
as the top season finale, I feel like it's important that I unmask and show you the real me.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's much better. Feels so nice to be just out there in the open and exposed to you. And now we can get into this wonderful season finale that will surely put Chris's season finale to shame. As we've
Yeah,
got calls
get
to
them.
Rudy Giuliani, Todd Starnes, we've got a Steve Opath call, plus we check in on the Gully-Connerton rivalry. First, though, there's only one man I would want to lead off our season finale, and it's the man who manages to pause for 1 full minute on his radio show, the most boring man
Is
in
this
radio,
Giuliani?
the diaper boy, Dennis Prager.
Oh,
Check it
Prager.
out.
Okay. No, yeah, he's much worse.
I'd like to take a few calls, especially those that
Yeah,
don't
no,
agree
yeah,
with
he's
me.
much worse.
In Lawrence, Kansas, Philip. Hello, Philip.
Hi, how's it going, Dennis?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the debate, and especially in regards to the supposed standard of politeness that we should be having for our presidential candidates. It's something you mentioned at the beginning of your show. So yeah, I suppose my main question would be: would you consider it an insult if I said that your face was melting off of your thick fucking skull?
It does look like that. He's
Okay.
right. He's right.
Let's go to Iran
Just nothing.
in East
You
Orange,
get,
New
stick and
Jersey.
move.
Hello,
You gotta
Ron.
bounce off it.
Hey, Mr. Prager, how are you today?
Okay, thank you.
It's so good when it's back to
I
back.
just had a debate about I just had a question about the debate. When you sit down, is it a one diaper affair or a two diaper affair?
Oh, wow. So the
Got him.
Okay. Daniel in Greenville, South Carolina. Hello.
Thank you for having me on. Just wanted to quickly comment regarding the debate. We decided to let our 10-year-olds stay up to watch it, and not only were my wife and I embarrassed with essentially the lack of self-control, but he essentially summed up the end of the debate by saying that it was a hot mess.
Summed up the debate as saying it was a
hot mess.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Sean was talking to me. A what mess?
Hot mess.
Right. What does a hot mess mean?
Rudy Giuliani has become one of our favorite targets, and we usually call him about the
That's
fact
great.
that he married his cousin and then presumably had sex with her a number of times before getting a divorce.
Here we go,
But this week I
Giuliani.
brought in the big guns. That's right. Professional prankster, stand-up comedian Brendan Walsh gave Rudy a call to talk about his wooden leg. Check it out.
His wooden leg?
So now
I don't.
let's
Why does
go
Rudy do a
to-
call-in show? Why would you do that to
Let's
yourself?
go to Ron in
If you're
Albany.
fucking Rudy.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
It's an honor to speak to you. My name's Ron. I joined, I enlisted right after 9/11.
Oh, that's what you got to say. That's perfect.
So you've been a
Congratulations.
big part of my life. Yeah, and I wanted to thank you, sir. I wanted to address the
Rudy grunts are
anybody
awesome.
listening is undecided about Biden and his health care policy. I got a story for you. While serving in Iraq, I managed to serve over 11 years. And
11 years.
Unfortunately, lost my leg to an IUD.
I'm sorry.
To an IUD.
Iraq. And I got to tell you, dealing with the Obama administration,
Old man grunts are disgusting.
with my medical,
Like if you're
issues,
in a men's washroom, which I thankfully I no longer go in the last couple years of my life. You'll notice this
nightmare. I
just
mean,
like
obviously,
when you're in the bathroom and an old
That's-
man just in the vicinity of you in a fucking room pees. You
Pathetic
just hear
wooden
it.
leg.
There's this grunt. Is Rudy peeing? I didn't put that together.
I couldn't get
Just
the right
he's
time.
like
And the runaround I would get, my leg
he's at
was
the
shorter.
stall.
One leg is
Then-
shorter than the other?
It was shorter than my regular leg.
Oh, I mean, I thought, I'm sorry. I thought it was possible before you lost your leg. I mean, after.
After I lost my
Of
leg,
course. Oh, God,
the
yeah, of course.
size that they gave me for the prosthetic was too short.
I see. In other words, the way they constructed it, they made one leg shorter than the other.
Yeah, they gave me the wrong.
It was Obama.
size.
Why couldn't they just make another one?
Well, it was the dealing
It
with
was
the
Trump that
VA
gave them that.
under Obama. There was so much red tape and so much paperwork, and to go out of pocket, I don't know. I mean, I hope you never had to deal with prosthetics, but they're not cheap.
No, I have not. But for friends, I have. Not for me. How you doing now?
Saves him by
I'm
hanging
sorry.
up. Oh, that sucks.
Hi, this is Brendan.
And Amanda.
That could
And
have
we're
been
from the World Record Podcast.
He should not have a producer.
Follow this
That's
one
not fair.
step to listen to our podcast.
Here it is. We can have lots of
We
fun.
make phone calls.
How can I help you?
I'm looking for
It should just be
spicy baby
uncut
food.
Rudy.
You're talking baby food, like for little babies, like children?
Yeah, and spicy.
no.
Celebrity guests.
Hello?
Is this Urkel?
Yes?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Drew Carey. Is this Josh Gad?
Oh, yeah, Josh Gad.
Oh, let me be clear.
Ted Danson on the line?
Your legs
So get out there and listen
prosthetics
to the World Record Podcast.
are not going to be
On
properly
your
sized.
tablet or cell phone.
They come in
The
two
time
sizes.
is right.
If you like your misshapen prosthetic leg, you can keep
to
it.
the bathroom on the lanes, are we?
Yeah.
Todd Starnes was fired from Fox News a year and a half or so ago, and then he couldn't find anywhere to play his stupid radio show, so what did he do? He went out and bought his own station. That's actually what he did. Go look it up. And so that's what we called
have
him
to
about
respect
today,
that,
and we had a little bit of a
actually.
brouhaha. Check it out.
All right, welcome back to the Todd Starnes radio show. Let's get to the phones. Charlottesville, North Carolina. Jason, what's going on?
Oh, not too much, Todd. I'm curious listening to you talk about the
Would I buy a
debates and
Twitter?
everything. Is there anything
If Twitter banned me, I would make my own Twitter.
Donald Trump could
Sort of like which celebrity did that, but with
do
Instagram?
or say that would cause you to
Fuck,
second
what was
guess him
that?
in any way? Like, if Donald Trump did something to you and
The
your
Renner, yes, like sort of like Jeremy Renner. Thank
family,
you.
would you even at that point, or would you still just continue to praise him no matter what?
You mean explain what you mean by
I
that.
love
Are you
the facial
Are you
edits.
saying if Trump came to my house and shot everybody, would I still support the president?
Yeah, I mean, something along those lines. I didn't want to be
The
graphic
old
with it or anything
space
like that. I
app.
don't think that's appropriate. But I just mean in general, it seems to me like you make excuses for every single thing he does no matter what. It seems like you're a sycophant and you will support him no matter what. But my main question is, did you really buy a radio station so that you could play your stupid show because no other...
Wait.
Get him.
Did we
Get him.
Did we get that guy to hang up? I want him back on the air. Yeah, I mean, Jason. Yeah,
That's the best
get
bit
Jason
to do.
call
Is
back.
force
Do
someone
not
to hang up
on him like that. Let's get him back on the air
and be like,
all right. Do we have Jason? Do we have you back?
I'm back, Todd.
Right.
I'm here. I'm back.
Good.
Friend.
So
I'm
they brought him
with
back.
Number one.
So, well, Jason, let me answer your question here. Because, and again, I appreciate you calling the show, and we appreciate all opinions on this radio program.
This is what respectability politics does to your fucking brain.
But if you listen to this radio show, you would know that I have spoken out and called out this president and criticized policies.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
You would have known if you had listened to this radio
Jesus
program
Christ,
that
dude.
when this guy was running for office, Donald Trump,
He's also, maybe he's just like a humiliation.
I was opposed to President Trump, then candidate
pig
Trump,
or something.
and spoke out against him. So I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
but
It's the Ben Shapiro thing.
That shows less of a backbone. It shows that when he was a candidate, you recognized he was a bad candidate, but when he got power, you
No,
then
sir,
became
Jason.
a
No,
sycophant,
Jason.
a bootlicker.
Jason.
That shows less.
Hey, Jason, let me explain how this is good. You know what? Take Jason down. Don't take him off the air, but hold on a second. Jason, look, Jason, you can keep, I'm trying to answer your question, but you won't shut up. So why don't you just
there
shut
it
up
is.
for a minute?
There
and
it
I'll be
is.
happy to answer your question, and I will. I suspect you're a Hillary Clinton sycophant.
Oh,
I
of course.
suppose,
Yes,
that
he
you
loves-
pledge allegiance and bow down to Antifa and like Joe Biden does.
How are you a political commentator and you really believe that there are people who support Hillary Clinton and Antifa?
Yeah,
that those two would have any sort of crossover. You are so out of touch. But my actual question, Todd, was did you really buy a radio station so that they would play your show because no other radio station would play this absolute garbage when you got fired from Fox?
You got a question here, Jason. First of all, I was not fired from Fox. First of all, Jason, I was not fired.
Did you really buy this radio station? Did you buy this radio station so you could have somewhere to play your show? Be honest.
What are you talking about?
Did you buy this radio
This is
station
beautiful.
that you're on right now?
Jason, do you have Trump derangement syndrome? Are
The
you,
fact
are you
they're
a troubled
not-
man?
I'm asking you a question. You
Are
sound
you
like you
troubled?
at the debates last night. You don't want to answer.
Jason,
Todd, answer the question. Did you buy this station or not?
Well, of course I bought a radio station. Do you not?
Of course.
That's right, Todd, because nobody would play your stupid show.
Oh, Jason hung up on us. Jason hung up on us.
That's right.
You see, this is
Oh,
a guy.
Condition
you know
Blink,
what
thank you for the
gets
tier
me?
3 at
How
10
long,
months.
Grace Baker,
Condition
turn your
Blink, thank you for the
microphone
tier
on for
3
just a
10
moment.
minutes.
How
10
long was
months.
Jason on
Condition Blink,
hold?
thank you for the tier 3
Oh, he was
10
on
months.
hold for a good 20 minutes.
20,
I stole that
25
from Chris
minutes.
James because he
cordial
does
on
that
the phone
tier
with
thing.
me.
You see, that's the way they are. These people are pretty. They're
Thank you for
evil,
tier 3, Paul.
and I feel bad for this guy. Clearly, he's a very unhappy person. Probably lives in his mother's basement.
Get him. Classic.
Probably has a bad skin condition.
Oh, yeah. Is that an upgrade?
20 minutes.
You know
I'll
what?
hit you
Well,
with
he
the
clearly
VIP.
doesn't have a job.
Steve O'Path is the hardest working police officer in
It
the
is, yeah.
business. If you consider work to be
VIP. If you're at
being
tier 3,
disrespectful
I give
to
you the
people who
diamonds.
don't deserve it. He loves calling
'Cause I
radio
think I have a
shows
lot of them to
where
give
the
out
host
still.
is a
Why not?
bootlicker, and he loves testing them and seeing just how far they'll go with it. Check it out.
Steve O'Path, yes. This is the fucking best way to prank call right-wing people.
You reached the chopping block in your life. Who's calling and where you calling from?
Genuinely so good. It's genius.
Hi, my name is Steve. I'm calling in from Genesee, Idaho.
Oh,
Genesee
what's up,
is
Steve?
so
Welcome
good.
to the chopping block. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty
Genesee,
well.
Idaho.
I was trying to call in, as this gentleman Robert Denby was saying in the chat as well. Same thing. I was trying to call a few times.
Yeah, I
with,
think
to
the
no
Dupree one
avail.
is better.
But I'm glad to be on the
So
air.
far.
I'm actually law enforcement, so I'm an LEO, law enforcement officer out here in Genesee Falls.
LEO.
So, I just wanted to speak, give a law enforcement perspective on what's happening right now in the country.
Okay, please do. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, how do you feel? You have a respect for law enforcement? I take it.
Very much so. Very
Yeah.
much so. I think law enforcement is needed. I think that
Of course we are.
What's happening?
Of course we're needed.
That
goes without saying that we're needed, of course.
I mean, you're needed. You save a lot of lives, and the demonization of law enforcement.
That's mostly ambulance and firefighters who save lives.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really in the whole life saving. That's not really what we're about. We're about law and order.
But
we're
you
not
do
about saving lives.
I know, but
we're not the ones to call if you need your life saved.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that
he can't even. He still thinks he's a cop, so he can't disagree with him.
What we are not.
Okay, well, you're not the police, so
okay, got it.
And I'm
yeah.
the phone. You're not the police, so just you're not the police. Okay.
There you go. Took you a second.
I said the police do
Took
save
you a
lives.
second.
I didn't say that's what their job. They save a lot of lives. They save a lot of lives in different ways, and no, a police officer wouldn't say that. I'm sorry.
That's true.
The
That's
most
absolutely
evil thing
right.
that I did for
He's
this
right
season
about that.
finale was I injected myself into the Stone Green rivalry between Matt Connerton and Tom Gully. I felt like maybe we could mix it up a little bit by introducing Lockwood and Trace into the mix, and so I contacted them and told them to get ready for next year because we're going to need them. And that caused Tom Gully to phone Connerton and rethink everything that's going on. Check it.
Hi, welcome to Matt Connerton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, it's your old pal Tom Gully. How you doing, my man?
Tom Gully.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
From
shit.
The Tom Gully Show.
What an honor.
He is, guys.
Oh, yeah, he's
be
fine-tuning
respectful.
the
He is
bit.
Stone Green.
Yes, he is.
He can never be demoted. And he earned it.
Never, ever. And I'm just calling
so
my
funny
good
they all
friend MC Unleashed, because I know that's what all the hardcore rappers call you, Matt. MC Unleashed.
I do have a hip-hop persona. My hip-hop friends know me as M Sizzle.
M Sizzle. Listen, I'm calling you to sort of end this whole fracas, this imbroglio, if you will.
We're going to
about
squash the
green
beef.
thing.
Go squash
Where's
the
the beef?
No, we're going to squash the beef. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, well, I've been squashing the beef at home privately for years now, but yes, if you're
Get
in
him.
that vernacular, certainly we
great.
can do that.
Oh, okay.
What is my hip-hop
All right.
name?
Well, how are we going to squash the beef?
Liv.
Well, this is where it gets
Liv
just
Posting is
sublime.
my
Okay.
Now,
hip-hop name.
I think that you and I have heard through the underground that some other guys, I think their names are Trace and Lockwood, are trying to ascend the throne over there on Not Even a Show.
Lockwood.
Deep Trace! And Lockwood. And I don't think we can let that happen, you and I, because
It's the
we
ruling
are as
class
green
conspiring.
as downtown Dublin on St. Patty's Day.
The aristocracy attempting to
we're
continue.
green dudes.
The Stone Green
Well, I
aristocracy.
do happen to be Irish.
And I think you and I should form the super friends of Green Host, because I understand one of these guys is a blind lawyer, and he has a gun license, and even though he was blind, he'd wave a gun around.
Jim Lockwood is Jim Lockwood that guy? He's trying to become a green host?
Well, that's the word on the streets.
Unacceptable.
Tom Gully, I'm in. As long as you understand, I am the original green host. If you can accept that, I'm in.
I totally can. I totally always have. And here's what I think. I think what I need to do is also then lobby for you to become Stone Green.
Team Green!
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. We're the super friends. We're the super green friend. We'll come up with something. We'll get our people on it.
I
Get
think
the marketing folks on it.
Yeah, I think, Tom, I think Super Friends might be trademarked. That one might be a little, that's a little tough.
Okay, everybody,
funny.
that's the end of the episode and
That's
the full
good.
episode, and we're ending it with me.
The
and that's
second
the best
half
way
was
to end
better,
it is
I
with
think,
mine, and it's
in my
fresh in your
opinion.
mind. Get out there and vote.
But they
Vote
both
for
very
my
good.
episode. It's important. We need
Go subscribe.
Do free 2020 and
Do
do
free
free and
2020.
Stoop. Vote for us. We need this. Okay, I maxed out all of my credit lines to fake this death and to do. I need this, please. And thank you for
Yeah, I
watching.
agree.
And
I think it's
support the
free.
Patreon, please. There's a runoff
Also-
episode over there.
Yes.
There's a podcast. We did a live. We didn't. They
not
did a
even
live
a show.
improv show. So check it out. Go over there and
Go give them money.
at Patreon.
Give Chris money. And
Stoop, they're not gonna
No
vote
Prank
for us.
Radio.
Fuck.
Which I believe he is streaming right now. Okay. JJ Supercut 2 is going to be cool. And here's the YouTube video if you want to go subscribe. Or did I already do that? I'll like it again. Okay. Let's go back to Trump stuff for now. Because when is
Hello
there...
and welcome to...
Oh, oops. There's literally... There will not be any running out of Trump content for the next month. It's like... I mean... All of it is so absurd. What is this, Envelas? Oh no, we're not doing epic rap battles of history. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope. We've already done this. Let's watch this. Majority report. You want to vote? Do you want to watch? Okay, fuck it. Sure, we'll vote. It's epic rap battles of history. Rasputin versus Stalin. Sure, fuck it. You want it to be a vote? Watch ? Yes and no. And because of course this is a bourgeois democracy, you can vote extra with bits. So it's 100 bits, which is like $1 per extra vote. All right. Vote. Sure, fuck it. I mean, I don't want to watch it again. It's awful. It's hell watching these. But if you wanna, hold on. How do I open this fucking poll? Pop out maybe? No, whatever. Okay, currently it's at no. All right, we'll watch in the meantime. Yeah, I think it's a no.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thank you, everyone. Democracy
Hey
wins
guys,
again.
Dave from Jamaica. How you guys doing?
Dave from Jamaica.
Dave.
One of the classic Majority Report callers, and honestly, a voice. When I hear, I always go, good thing this is going to be a good one, and not going to be one of those time wasters. This is one of the good ones. One of the
Don't
good
worry,
calls.
I've not hit my libertarian phase.
Oh my God.
I was going to talk about Q because Matt, you've talked about it before as
it's sort of
kind
close.
of like an umbrella of all conspiracy folks kind of uniting under one little thing. And my worries about their ability to spread globally, while maybe not necessarily being pro-Trump.
It's already spreading globally.
Yeah, because, and I'm not going to harp on religion or anything, but like if you're a conservative religious person, I see those folks particularly susceptible.
I think I see the most susceptible genuinely is like new age people.
Susceptible to
all the like weird pseudo spirituality people are the most susceptible to Q
Because
stuff.
As growing up, most of these theories Q espouses, I've heard them before, right?
Right.
Like whether it be, you always hear them before, but its ability to be under one umbrella, I've never seen it so unified before.
And that's what makes
I'm worried
QAnon
about
so
it spreading.
That's what makes QAnon so different, because you could easily just if you hear one of these conspiracies and you think that they're nuts, you could easily just brush it off. Like for example, you love Oprah, You're a
Thank
big
you,
Oprah
everyone,
fan.
for
You're a
voting no.
middle-aged woman in middle America. You love Oprah. Daytime TV is your thing. You're
I love
not going to believe
democracy.
Oprah Winfrey is part of a satanic cult that eats children with other Hollywood elites so they could retain their youth. You like these people. You hear them every day. They're like your buddies, your family. You talk with them more than you probably do some people you know. But if you hear about a pedophile
Like
ring
Liv
being
posting.
taken down, then you're on
I would
board because you
never
love
be.
the children too. After all, you have kids
Exactly.
of your own. You love. So if you wrap this all into one, and the same people who are taking down those child
Thank you
trafficking
for voting
rings
no.
are also ripping the mask off Oprah Winfrey for eating children so she could retain her youthful
the Oprah
figure.
fan slowly
then
loses their fandom.
Right. You're hearing it from a trusted source now, the source that tells you that they're taking down the child trafficking rings. And so you're going to believe all that shit. You're going to believe that JFK Jr. is still alive. You're going to believe
Once
that
you start going
Q
down the rabbit
is
hole.
secretly in cahoots with Donald Trump to take down the deep state.
It gets pretty
you know,
bad.
and so what he's saying is coming from very high up, and it's
like,
Trump
that's-
actually really trying to get his message, his
And
secret
again,
message.
it's so fucking easy to get into it. Like the Wayfair shit was a big in for a lot of like younger people, especially on TikTok,
out to his most
who then became
hardcore
Pizzagate people
supporters.
and
I
like
mean,
QAnon
this
people.
is it, and it brings Trump in regardless of whether these people realize it's political or not. Like these middle-aged women who all of a sudden are all into QAnon because
Now
they're
that
about protecting the
Minecraft
children.
Steve is in
They're
Smashland, should we
probably
expect
going to go
Liv
to the
be
voting booth and
announced?
vote for Trump
Where's White Rose? Thank you for
because
the 4 months.
somewhere, somehow,
Yeah,
in the
I'm the
middle
next
of getting all
character.
this child trafficking ring conspiracy stuff, they've also
Keep it
heard
on
the
the
whispers that
DL. Don't
and
tell
Donald
anyone.
Trump is the first ever president to fight them. And then there you go.
Right.
Whether they're out there wearing the MAGA hats or waving the Trump flags or taking part in the boat parades, that doesn't even matter. They might not even be openly Trump supporters, but within that voting booth, they're going to vote for the guy that's saving the children.
Mm-hmm.
I
Is
guess
they worried about
another thing
child
that
trafficking?
kind of disturbs me about the whole of this, like I'm not a person to downgrade voter intelligence or anything in public anyway, but
No, that's Sam's job.
and it's not an right, but it's like I won't even say it's an education thing.
It's
But
a rationalism thing.
for like people who
An
I think are
anti-rationalism.
street smart should be able to tell like people like
that's
Trump
much
or
more
folks
structural.
like that are obviously
I mean,
hustling them.
it's particularly libertarians that like to do this, but libs do it too, where it's like, oh, well, people are just stupid. That's a part of people. And it's like,
Are
no,
people that naive?
that's a cop
I'm
out.
trying to wrap my head around because like I know a bullshitter when I see you.
What is my final smash?
Right. Well, this is
I
the
know.
thing. That,
I don't need
What do
to
you
go
think,
to school
chat?
for
What are
that.
my moves?
Right. This is
in
the thing.
Smash?
I talk about this a lot during the primary when I heard a lot of, not so much this time around because a lot of them got smarter and more educated in the political realities of how these things work. But, this year again, I heard some people on the left during the primaries calling the people who vote for the sort of establishment mainstream Democrats, call them low information voters. And, if you're voting in a primary, actually, the odds are you probably aren't so much a low information voter because, not that many people vote.
My final smash is that Jeff Bezos reaches down from like the top of the screen because he's secretly puppeting me and like grabs the person and throws them into the like, the air or
primaries
whatever.
compared to how many people can actually vote. But so what I do is, I put. Are you familiar with filter bubbles?
I mean, this is
'Cause
just
that's how I view.
This is such a fucking meme. It's such a fatal misunderstanding of like, well, if postmodern philosophers, some of them, because even the position of postmodern is a bullshit, like over, oversimplification. If they like problematize rationality and non-political knowledge, let's say, and the capacity for an individual to take in information in a purely objective sense, then clearly they're the same as like the fake news stuff. That's the same thing. Clearly, it's not like view
everything.
Like,
we all put ourselves in our own filter bubbles by what we.
It's like an understanding of postmodernism that comes if you are studying for a weekly quiz in a first year politics course that's going over like Derrida, Foucault, Deleuze or whatever in a single week.
Consume.
That's your understanding of it.
And this is before the internet too, by the
Like a
cable
multiple
news we
choice
watch,
quiz.
the TV
That's
we
your
consume,
understanding of it.
the music we
It's the same
listen to, the people we're friends with.
Why I listen to you guys, because there's only so much information you can take, so you kind of find a trusted source, and then you kind of stick with it.
So with the internet though, we all follow these sources that we like and trust. And that's pretty much all the algorithms on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube show us, because they go, oh, this guy follows the Majority Report, follows Kyle Kulinski, follows the Michael Brooks Show. Oh, so they're going to like leftist content. So we'll keep showing them channels that are similar to Sam Cedar, Kyle Kulinski, and Michael Brooks. And so you just taking that information. Now, if you're taking information from legitimate sources that actually...
Oh, yeah. It was an InfoWars thing about how the Hegelian dialectic is about is this like Maoist or whatever conspiracy to take over, leftist insurrection, because Marx uses the dialectic. It's such a fucking funny video.
It's factual information, like those three examples do. You're safe. You're good. You're
Thesis,
well-educated.
antithesis,
but
synthesis
if you're
is like
a
theory of insurrection.
Follows Ben Shapiro and Dave Rubin, and all of a sudden you're falling down the YouTube rabbit hole, getting sucked into all these right-wing channels.
It keeps
and
going.
By connection, you're getting sucked deeper and deeper into the fringes, into the conspiracy theory channels. Then you are well-educated, but you're well-educated in all this bullshit. But you don't know that because you see, that's all you see. So you think, oh, this is what the rest of the world is intaking. This is the news. This is the real stuff. Because people just don't understand. They're not tech savvy enough to know that what you're seeing isn't what everyone sees. Hell, we're in just this big political bubble in general. You go to someone who just plays video games, like some teenager who has no political interest at all. To them, the big news is the Xbox, the new Xbox release, and the new PlayStation release date. You talk to someone who just watches the Home Shopping Network and is into cooking. Their big news is gonna be the latest host of The View, or who just re-signed their contract on the Today Show.
They just listen to Peterson and his takes on French philosophy. Oh, God.
Bubble, and the social media platform is in an attempt to get you more engaged on their site, just show you that content over and over again, so you give them more money by being more engaged on the site. And then everyone has this skewed view of everything. And that's why conspiracy theories are flourishing now, more so than ever before.
Absolutely.
And that's why we are truly living in dangerous times. And that's why I also think when people bring up other analogous times where people were into conspiracies,
it's just money,
like UFOs and Bigfoot and all that other bullshit, it's honestly not the same. This is uncharted territory, and it's dealing with topics that are honestly even more dangerous. So you combine everything, and honestly, we're fucked.
I guess. Yeah, it does seem dark.
Oh, we already watched All Gas No Breaks.
I'm trying to think how in my case, how I'm not sure how I even arrived at my politics, because socially speaking, I should be fairly socially conservative.
We always like to think that the reason we think things is because we're smart and we got ahead of the curve and understand something about reality. But because just existentially, how you feel when you learn things is that it's this rational, purely rational process of discovery. It's very hard to comprehend that for everyone, you are being acted on by forces, by social and political forces that are either ubiquitous enough that you don't understand that you're being acted on, or are subtle in other ways, to make your life and your opinions the way they are.
Probably a little bit.
We all live in society, man.
I'm not.
You can't escape
I'm not
society.
even sure how I came out of that, because that's what I'm trying to understand. How
it's uncomfortable to think about.
That?
A lot of your ideas are the product of you being acted on by other forces, but that's always the case.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because when I go to work and I hear people spouting conspiracy theories, I try to subtly say, hey, remember, these guys aren't any smarter than you. So this whole cabal, you think they can really pull that off? To kind of
the bottom.
Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
the bottom line is people are more propagandized than they're educated, and that's the media system we have. And like until we majorly change that, like we can try to like give people the proper
Nothing
tools
is
to
real.
decide.
I mean, I guess the real thing I guess postmodern philosophers do is problematize
like
the
for
concept of
news
reality.
or real news. Like that's not what this is about.
In the
It's
sense that you're
about
using it there.
Facebook becoming a massive spig.
Is this civilian areas in Armenia by Azerbaijan? So is Azerbaijan just doing war crimes? Is that like the summary?
For
they're ramping up the war crimes. Yeah,
right-wing
okay.
disinformation, and then Peter Thiel saying, "Hey, by the way, now that
Cluster
everyone's freaked out
bombs.
about cities, here's some spy technology I have to offer you." Like, I mean, these are we need to,
Oh
we need to
shit!
destroy those.
No Prank Radio. Thank you for the raid. We just watched the season finale. Very good stuff. Thank you. Everyone follow No Prank Radio, Chris James, Not Even a Show, etc. I think the consensus here was the second half was better than the first. But I think it's close.
People, we need to destroy Palantir. We need to destroy Facebook as like a like
it was very
propaganda,
good though, of course.
Operation that like
do a poll.
Has no.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's do a poll. This is where you guys gotta vote. Gotta show up, you fucking, you leftists. Which half of Not Even a Show? First, second. Okay.
No accountability except to some idiot Harvard kid who like made it to like score or like rate chicks in college.
Yeah.
So like we need to take this stuff under democratic control.
Good.
Otherwise, we're never.
If you're a raider and you would like to also vote, I believe you have to click on my channel and go to it.
And people have to understand that the right
I think
knows
so.
this. Like they play the game very good when it comes to in the context of what
I guess the
just
first
mentioned
had
and when I brought
long
up like they know how these things work. They play it very well. That's why they all on Facebook, all those major top engaged content is all from all the major right wing pages and networks. YouTube, the view
Love
counts
democracy,
for some
folks.
of these. I mean, look at Tim Pool and his 3 YouTube pages. The dude is pulling in on every video he puts out.
Yeah,
Every
it's
video
rough.
he puts out across 3 channels. He puts out some like 3 videos a
'Cause
day
again,
across.
the only thing that the algorithm gives a shit about on YouTube is clicks. And that's how it's built. It's like it's a machine learning thing. So it every time you click on a video, I think technically the algorithm is slightly changed and updated to like ensure that people click on more stuff and stay on YouTube longer and watch more ads and generate more views. It's for money. The problem is that clicking, like sometimes suggesting people who are like young and impressionable or just impressionable, insane right-wing shit generates a lot of clicks.
On each of those channels, we're talking hundreds of thousands of views on each video,
and they don't give a
every
shit
single day. They know how to play the game. They know how to push.
Yeah, we're all desiring machines, and we're connected in the Deleuzian sense to the algorithm and to its functions.
Their content, and until the left gets in on this and understands how this works, like there are some people doing some things, like the Gravel Institute is putting out that PragerU for the left, and PragerU for the left,
featuring friend of the show, H. John Benjamin.
And also, Chelsea Manning is making a video for that, isn't she? That's cool. Shout out Chelsea.
And that's very smart. But it's honestly, no matter how good they put together the content, it's still going to fall short because they don't have the network also in place that the right does. Like PragerU just doesn't go viral because they happen to make good, well-produced content. No. There are networks, highly paid networks, channels, pages across all of the major platforms of social media working together to push all this stuff. The fact that it's well produced just gives people more incentive to share it. But these pages and platforms and
Yeah, it's
channels
second.
and accounts.
So there's the results, folks. Objectively, the second half, Colonel Dufree wins.
That are sharing it first. They're working together to
the
do
official only poll for voting over the value of
to
it.
get it in front of you in the first place.
Yeah.
And until the left figures that out,
no
we
other
until the left figures
empirical-
that out, I don't think we are going to successfully take them on at the
Yeah, I
same
love
level.
democracy.
And they gratify parts of the brain that the left could never touch, right? Like,
Yes,
I mean,
Amy,
I think
we
it's pretty
we need an Amy Teresa Gravel Institute video. What would she do?
interesting that there
What do you think she would post about?
is a global conspiracy designed to oppress us, but it's called capitalism. But that's never going to be as sexy to people as like an international cabal of cannibalistic pedophiles, right?
She'd shit on Michael Brooks' grave. She's already done that.
Right? Like, I mean, I'm going to
I guess, yeah, she'd do it again.
say what I always say about this stuff.
Why
which
she'd make a
is-
video on why actually Donald Trump is not a fascist, and why the neoliberal centrists are worse than the right.
There's no magic bullet. There's no single
she's still
causal
saying
factor,
that,
and there's no
isn't
magic
she?
bullet to get rid of it. But one thing.
Should I show this? My favorite Amy Teresa moment I had. I mean, we butted heads a while ago. Let me find it. Is when we were arguing as an own. She posted she posted like a screenshot of our text conversation or of our like message conversation from like a very long time ago, when I was still like trying to be nice with her. Let me see. Here we go. I'll show this because it's funny. And she had some insane take about how like, I get catcalled by men and I like it, and so like the women who are complaining about it, you know, I don't get it. What's wrong? I enjoy male attention, and I just responded like, you know, that's not the universal experience, and like, you know, when I get catcalled, I'm afraid that men are going to, you know, find out I'm trans and then potentially be violent towards me. But she posted it as like this is a while ago. This is her first account. She posted it as an own when we were arguing. You can see like, I conflate male attention with hostility because of trans misogyny. And I was trying to be reasonable. This isn't like a year and a half ago. Before she went like really off the rails. You know, just trying to conflating it is an objective experience maybe, but the wrong shouldn't be anecdotal. Yeah, that like, you know, your experience isn't universal, and it's not neoliberalism's fault that people are disagreeing with you or whatever bullshit. But yeah, she tried to do it as an own, and then I replied, "You are a sociopath," and she deleted both of these tweets immediately. Oh, it was funny. Yeah. But anyways, it's funny to show that. I particularly on my stream. I guess we aren't watching that. Particularly on my stream, because then it won't like. I mean, this is all connected to Twitter.
All cops are.
Jolix, thank you for the 9 months. Yeah, it's very funny.
Thing that Anna Merlin found. She wrote a really good book on conspiracy theories. She's been on this show. She's been on the Intifada. Was people are more likely to believe in conspiracy theories.
I mean, Matt had basically the correct take about Amy. Which is she's just the most fucking online person ever. Like ever. I was articulating this point before about how like you need to log off and understand that Twitter isn't like real life politics, that there's like a world out there for you to act on. And I didn't realize that like I was mainly directing that towards like really sincere like right wing or like communist teens. I don't know why I said right wing. Who thought posting was like warfare. But what it also applies to is a lot of like really like extremely anti-ID poll, like sort of, how do I phrase that? Like anti-ID poll, contrarian, leftist posters who like post really edgy shit. Like the best example of this is Amy, who really thinks like she is speaking truth to power on Twitter. She is dismantling the professional managerial class and all of the neoliberal journalists, and she's really doing something good and productive and revolutionary. I mean, maybe not revolutionary, but that's the perfect example of someone who is way too fucking online. Just needs to log off.
When they are...
Go do politics in the real world. Go, organize a protest in Australia. Because it's the country you live in.
Atomized, they lack social bonds, they lack community, and when they feel disenfranchised from the system.
I believe, yes, Amy had some take about insulting Michael Brooks after he died, and people got mad at her for the correct...
Manifest and also...
It started with, Michael Brooks was not your friend. He still would have called Trump a fascist or whatever, which I guess, wow, that's really shitty, isn't it? My favorite response by some people was Michael Brooks was my friend.
Sorts of different
I was friends with him.
ways depending
That's
on
the best
the
response
race
to that.
and the class and other identity experiences.
What the
of
fuck
the
is wrong with
people.
you?
But if you're talking to a working class person who could and
Anyways.
should be a leftist, I don't know the best way to approach it, but I have a really good pamphlet that I can recommend you called "How to."
She's
Overthrow
also her podcast host, co-host, is the heir to the Studebaker fortune, which I thought is always very funny.
the
Amy's-
Illuminati, which a friend of mine worked on.
I've seen it. I need to look into it some more. But I guess I'm doing, and I 100% agree with what you're saying, Jeremy. But I also see that I hate to drum that one thing, but I do see, and I'll make it very specific, conservative religion, not necessarily more left-leaning types, but they kind of prime people for this. So I don't know how the left will kind of reinvigorate when it comes to religious folks and try to not see that ground, because I don't know. It's an issue. But on a lighter note, there is a video of Tim Pool taking off his beanie. I think y'all.
Oh, that's such a funny video.
that might help.
I mean, what's underneath it?
Oh, you
The
don't
void.
know, but
Damn. Yeah.
there is a video of it.
Wow. I mean, I don't think the left should abandon skepticism towards religion in the way that it has largely.
There's a
We have to be
spiritualism.
very careful because,
I could argue there's a class consciousness can involve some sort of spiritualism in a particular sense, that a consciousness developed and supported and a consciousness or understanding of the world that's contingent on a love and the caring for those of you, people who are around you and who represent your similar interests. Isn't necessarily not spiritual.
Religion.
And you can use spirituality in particular contexts to teach people about that and develop that relationship, particularly in a group of people that are deeply
Is
religious.
incredibly popular among the global working class, which is, we need to get all of the religious working class people on our side. At the same time, I don't know, there are some really terrible atheists and skeptics out there who basically use it as an excuse to be Islamophobic and racist and stuff. But I don't think that means that we should abandon the project. I don't have it 100% figured out yet, but I do think the left should be secular. And I do think we should point out.
We need more Kwame Tourés and folks like that, but to kind of win back, at least on the church, on the religious side of things,
Right.
because it's kind of dominated by right-wing grifters.
Yeah.
So from my view of it, the Abrahamic religions have enough contradiction in them that more left-leaning figures, and this is coming from a stone-cold atheist, but there's enough contradiction that left-wing people can win that battle. But I guess we have to figure out how they got knocked out in the first place.
Well, yeah, again, it's not
Why is the
ideological.
left
It's all
stuck
this is
using
all the
people
structure.
like her? Are we talking about Amy? Well, I mean, Amy is just. I mean, I don't know, fucking. That's online shit.
How were these?
You have to be super online to know who that is. And in fact, I would probably say, that like what's it called? That like if you know who she is, you should probably log off.
I mean,
And that's
funding
probably
who's
to me too.
I mean, that's really the problem here. It's not ideological.
Right.
Yeah. And I tried to make sort of a hackneyed point yesterday that took too long about how, religion is part of the superstructure. It's part of culture. And therefore, there are a lot of leftists who believe there's no point in trying to interface, interact with, or, maybe defeat religion on the battlefield of ideas because however these things manifest is totally 100% based on the means of production and the material relations of society, right? I think that could use a bit of reevaluation because we have seen it, and we've seen the way that religion also acts as its own force in the world that is not completely tethered to anything material anymore.
Many people are
so
saying
if that
this.
makes sense, great.
Yeah. I would just add, though, there's a reason why people like Cornell West are effective at this sort of outreach because they speak the language of religion, which is what religious people want to hear.
Right.
The second you stop speaking that language, they turn off. So I think if there's a benefit to being familiar with the types of stories they're telling and the type of language they're using. And I think the mode of even repeating certain types of stories, I think the left should treat like things like labor struggle and oppression struggles, those stories, we should be reiterating those things in a sort of quasi-religious fashion. Basically creating our own secular mythologies. I think that's what we should learn from religion.
Absolutely. Like all the people who are like, oh, the left is not a church, left shouldn't be a church. The church is incredibly popular, right? So maybe it's not necessarily a bad thing to have the kind of community bonds and popularity that you have in the church at a time when social bonds are dissolving everywhere else. So I don't know. I hope that there's a way to have coalitions with religious people. Certainly the more advanced and the more left-leaning manifestations of religion without having any concessions whatsoever to social conservatives in the actual platform.
Holy shit. I mean, why does staff just email telling them not to come to work if they have symptoms? If they develop them, they're told to go home and contact their primary care provider. Staff should not go to the White House Medical Unit Clinic for any COVID-19 test. They're fucking sinking. Hello, Anna. How's it going? It's like it's a sinking ship. It's... Jesus Christ. Yeah, it keeps getting worse for them, really. For this admin. It really just keeps getting worse. I mean, damn. It's all going bad real fast, folks. Do we like dick? Yes. Oh, Dr. Dibbles, thank you for giving a gift sub to Anna. Marx writes, of course, that, religion is the opiate of the masses or whatever. But at least, particularly later in his life, and the phrase opiate of the masses needs to be like historicized because it's sort of different than what you might understand now, which is to say that at least later in Marx's life, he was relatively sympathetic to religion, but just like conceptualized it like he conceptualized opium and opium dens, which is like your life sucks and you have something that makes you feel better about yourself. And that's the purpose of religion.
That we are advocating for.
Right.
Which is a more of a sympathetic, I think, reading than you might... I mean, that is also a more favorable reading of Marx's... Like a secular Marxism.
Yeah. I'm not going to be the person...
As opposed to like a atheistic Marxism, if you can draw that distinction.
To figure it out, probably. But somebody who is more tied to various religious groups should.
But also I want to shout out Bree, who's also working for the Gravel Institute. I have to shout out fellow Star Trek fans.
Pope Francis laments failures of market capitalism and blueprint for post-COVID world. Yeah, that makes sense. There comes a point in which like the market and capitalist forces actually really do fuck with religion, ironically, I guess. and like traditional society as well. These concepts get. You baited Hassan. Oh, okay, we can watch this after. Concepts like traditional societal concepts, let's say even pre-capitalist, get put in this sort of capitalist centrifuge, so to speak, and just fucking whirled around by the market, by capital, until they're spit out and they look nothing like what they did before. It's why a lot of trad cats don't even like capitalism, because they realize at some level that like their society, their trad society is not possible if capital is like unleashed. All right, you baited Hassan. Let's see.
Is living in a psychic bubble, and I'm about to burst.
This is why I only watch House on Ivy 5 hours a day. Such a misogynist. Wait, what?
You got him.
I don't even know what that means. Like, so you would watch me for like 10 hours a day if I was less misogynistic, or?
Honestly, though,
same, to be honest. What?
I get it.
I don't even know what that means. Like,
I feel like Hassan is so fucking beaten down by his Twitch chat. He's stun locked. You get an extra turn. It's like you get so many sincere, stupid comments on Twitch chat that makes sense. I only watch Hassan 5 hours a day. That's funny. He's also easily baited. That's probably true. Okay, let's watch this one. More majority report.
So you know this guy Scott Adams? Have you heard this? You know who that guy is?
Oh yeah,
the Dilbert guy.
Dilbert guy.
I don't know why I know it. I don't know why I know this, but I know that I know that Sam Harris once brought him on his podcast as like a representative of the reasonable Trump supporters. I don't know why I know that. I wish I didn't know it.
It makes Trisha makes me impossible. It makes me unable to recognize sarcasm too. You can be a Twitch mod. Do you want to mod my stream, Anna? Sure. I'll give you a sword. Don't misuse it. Oh, invalid username.
The realization we're going to find out that Scott's made regarding Trump and.
This is just ridiculous.
You want a sword?
But,
I don't know you from Twitter.
I don't like more people. I feel like Scott Adams more famous for the fact that he is so vociferously pro-Trump than actually Dilbert. Like I can't remember what Dilbert is. I know it's a cartoon, and I feel like
following since 1 minute ago. What's your other account? Paul Hen and the DJ. Are you avoiding a block?
It was like a guy in an office, right?
Yeah,
she's
but
gonna
it was
ban
syndicated
Pro.
in all the papers. I remember it every time I read the comics.
Gilbert might be a Trump supporter. I could see it.
Here is Scott Adams coming to the realization.
Oh, I forgot.
This is like, the interesting thing about this is that
do I take hormones?
There's a lot of people, I think, making a calculation that
what do you think?
The ship could sink. And if I don't get off it before it's still above water,
you just followed to say that?
Look
okay.
Sort of nakedly opportunistic. So I'm going to jump off now, even though I'm aware that there's a big hole in the hull, and pretend like that's not why I'm doing
I know, Anna. Did you ban? Get them. Get their ass. Get their ass. That's for anyone who says that the chat is bad and that there's anything being wrong with the moderation team.
Doing it. That's what I think this is. Here is Scott Adams thinking to himself, I may need actually a couple more years of working. And so therefore, maybe I should jump off this boat before it sinks to the bottom of the ocean.
When the Fine People hoax came up again, I literally stood up from the couch and said, here it is. Here's the moment.
Love him,
Pause it for 1 second. He's referring to the Fine People hoax. That's where you were all mistaken. And when he said fine people on both sides, that was a hoax.
Oh, he didn't really say that. Those words didn't really come out of his mouth.
I mean, you can't take the president literally.
Right. You got to take him seriously.
You got to take him seriously.
Mods are cops, yeah.
Here's
the
the
cops of the
moment
stream.
where Trump just has to say,
You claim to want no cops,
based
and
your
yet
entire campaign
you
on
moderate
that
your
lie.
channel.
I just encourage everybody to look at the transcript, and you'll see that the part that they cut out is the part where I clarified that I'm condemning those groups. If he had said that, I would have said, I'm really happy that I've spent so much of my time and my personal credibility, a great deal of money. I would say that my personal financial situation is way worse, because of supporting the president. There's no question about that.
Oh, I'm sure.
And
I'm sure.
I thought it's so obvious what you should.
Your stupid apolitical fucking like cartoon about some like poorly drawn guy in an office absolutely doesn't do as well because of fucking
say in this situation, and then he just didn't. And I thought to myself, I really feel abused, honestly. I was actually, I took it personally. That wasn't politics anymore.
Oh yeah, this is so
that
funny.
Was not politics
all right,
anymore.
stop
That was
timing
me
people out.
personally.
Stop it, mods.
And I feel like
Stop
he
it.
screwed me, personally. And then I had to sit there stewing in that. And then
This is great. By the way, oh my fucking god. The only thing that would make this chat more fucking chaotic. Hello, Proletaire. How's it going? Your girlfriend is here. And she's a mod in the stream now, so you have to be nice to her.
white nationalist.
The timed out Proletaire for 600 seconds.
And he botched it. It was a layup. It was free money sitting on the fucking table.
Whoa.
And he left it there.
Oh.
And he left me on that table too. He left me just exposed.
Damn, that's kind of hot.
So he lost my vote.
Which is
He lost my vote.
literally immediately after this, by the way, he said that he was actually going to support Trump again because of how mean Democrats were being to him online.
Can he get it back? Yeah. All he'd have to do is fix that. I mean, how hard is it to fix it? Well, apparently it's pretty fucking hard for him because he's taken 3 years since Charlottesville, and he hasn't fucking fixed it yet. Easiest fucking thing he'd ever fix.
Jeez.
Damn, he's fucking swearing.
There wasn't this kind of swearing in Dilbert.
I guess you can tell he is
About
mad.
Something.
It's not like an act.
So
I'm
let me
still
see if I
not
get
sure
this
why.
straight. Yeah, go ahead. You walk through this first because maybe that'll help me.
I'm still not okay. So as far as I could gather, he's not actually mad at Trump for multiple times refusing to denounce white supremacists. He is mad at him because he feels like strategically it would have been an easy thing to do, so he should have done it.
Yeah.
And by not doing it,
You
you're
can't
really
mod Anna without
screwing
remodding me. Listen.
Scott Adams. Right? Specifically.
He's sort of like making, you're right. Like he's sort of making it like his incompetence is costing me.
Right.
But he can still fix it. Like you let this out there. I mean, I'm just using his logic. In Scott Adams' logic, the fact that Trump let this out there for 3 years and just let it lie is indicative only of incompetence. But if he's competent enough in the next 30 days to correct the record that's been the record for 3
Mod everyone?
years, then that's
If we mod
competent.
everyone, then no one's a mod.
Like, there's no reality to any of this. Like there isn't a possible another explanation. Maybe it's not sheer incompetence that allows you to not to miss the layup for 3 years straight, right? I mean, that's almost definitional about the layup. If you're missing a layup,
I'm
for
not
3 years
modding
straight,
any of
The answer
you.
may be you just don't play basketball.
It's like, oh yeah, like how far would he go with that? Like, oh yeah, that was like really incompetent of you to be seen burning that cross on that family's lawn. That was a huge gaffe on your part. You can still
It's
fix
bad
it.
optics.
Yeah, go out. Get
It's
another
it's the right wing version of left people being like, you have to stop celebrating that Trump has COVID because it's bad optics.
And
it's like you have to stop saying white supremacy is good. It's bad
and
optics.
put it back up there, and
That's
you don't have
it.
to burn this one, and that will show me that you know exactly. I think this guy. I think honestly, like he built in his actual the sort of the actual catalyst, which is financially. I have been suffering for this because it turns out that when you are supportive of someone who is a horrible, horrible president to millions of Americans, people don't want to associate you with that much. Which, you know, it's no book burning. I don't recall anybody going out and burning Dilbert's books in the way that, let's say, the Dixie Chicks had their albums burned when they said we're embarrassed about George Bush.
That was brutal.
But I don't know. I can't look at Dilbert, in the same way. I guess I can. Actually, it's probably I look at it.
All right,
exactly
back to
the same way. I haven't looked at it at all.
I'll still not read Dilbert as much as I didn't read it before.
You're going to continue to completely not read it in the same way that you always did.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the right wing has got to be excited about this whole coronavirus.
Oh, that's a new
thing,
command. We're
the
doing
infection,
that
because it gives them an opportunity.
What's the
to get
command
off
name
this topic.
for that?
So here's Ben Shapiro wrestling with this thing still too.
He has now said in the first 10 seconds of this clip, sure, twice, sure. And then he says again, sure, I'm willing to do that. And then
There you
Trump
go.
turns, right? He turns and he swivels and he says, I don't understand why we're talking about right-wing violence in cities that are being dominated by left-wing violence. I don't understand this. Why aren't we talking about BLM? Why aren't we talking about Antifa? That is a perfectly legitimate point.
Antifa.
Okay, and then Wallace, because he was terrible the other night, decides that he's going to double down on this. Yes, sir, but will you conduct? He already did twice. He said sure 2 times. If he wanted to say no, he would just shake his head, or he would say no. You think Donald Trump is unwilling to say things that piss people off? He does it all the time.
Sure.
Okay, but the fact is that he does condemn white supremacy. He does condemn these people who are committing violence in the cities if they are from the right.
Yeah, hearing Ben Shapiro's voice
I'm sorry, but
when you're not expecting
okay, so
to is
there's literally a
bad. It's
3-word
rough.
thing that Trump says in the rest of this exchange that everybody on the left is hanging their hat on to claim that he is in fact a white supremacist. Okay, and the only way that you can read this is if you think that Trump is exact with his language, which we all know he is not.
Did Benny have a musical career?
It is amazing.
I thought it was only his sister.
How the left, which fully understands that Donald Trump
That would be a very effective fucking this clip would be a very effective alarm for me.
With his language, that Donald Trump routinely says dumb crap. How suddenly they get super serious and meticulous about his literal language all the time. Now, listen, I understand the left saying to people on the right, you guys, you say that you should take him seriously, not literally, and that lets him that lets him basically say whatever he wants to say, and we're supposed to read into his words. But I don't even take him seriously. I've said this all along. I've been very consistent about this. I don't think that virtually anything Trump says ought to be taken seriously because I don't think that he's the world's most serious person. I don't think it's possible to look at Trump and think he's the world's most serious person. I think very often there's a core of truth.
Don't
to
read
things
into
that he
his
says,
words.
But I do not think that he is exact in his language. I don't think that he
You
thinks
should
that
only
what
read
he's
into
doing
them
beforehand.
when they agree with
so
me.
here is the rest of the exchange.
How do you go on?
He's
and
the leader of
say,
the first
I don't
world.
take the president seriously. This
leader
guy has the
leader of the
ability
free
to
world.
launch nuclear weapons.
And he says shit, and it's like, well, you didn't mean it.
Right.
Like, even if you think he's a joker and he's an idiot, or he's
Like all the
incapable-
shit he
incapable
said
of
about
tying
Obama. It's
shoes,
so funny though.
You got to take what he says seriously.
And the reason why you could say that is because Ben Shapiro doesn't like Obama for the wrong reason.
Because he is arguably one of the most powerful single individuals, if not the, based upon his access to those nuclear weapons in the world. And he has had the ability of deporting, whole raft of people.
He
He's
was
had the
only
ability to,
pretending.
arrest people, to have them beaten. I mean, this is pretty nuts.
Yeah, and also to say it while also being a person who will probably vote for him. Like, it's one thing to say, I don't take this guy seriously, which is obviously why he shouldn't be in a position of power. But it's like to say, I don't take him seriously, and also I'm going to vote for him because what's the thing he always says? He surprisingly did the most conservative governance I've seen in my lifetime, right? Like, that's what I'll say at a CPAC. And but it's like, honestly, that clip,
Because
it was a little bit more
everyone
sympathetic
knows
to me.
You're able to call it immediately, where it's like, yes, of course Ben Shapiro is going to vote for Donald Trump, and of course he's going to support him, and if he wins the next election, he's going to vote for him.
because it feels.
But it's funny to see like the fucking the logic he builds to like proactively justify
like,
his support.
That felt a little bit more like, oh, like on some level he desperately wants it to be not true that he's supporting a white supremacist.
Right.
Like he's really, he's really like flailing there, and it's like,
oh yeah, this isn't real. I'm hallucinating this tweet. This is like a meme, right? No, it's not. Fuck. They're trying to do the thing where Proud Boys is like for gay men. So it's like, we got you guys, Proud Boys. You're gay, I guess. I don't know. What's the point of this? Why? How is this a... Sure, fuck it. Yeah, they're Proud Boys. Yeah, that's what they are.
like, no, it can't be true. Of course he doesn't. Of course he said sure. What more do you want?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's a full-throated denouncement of white supremacy. He said the word sure twice.
Like, of course he doesn't.
There's no way the president could ever say, like, look, white supremacy is horrible, and these people who are doing this are horrible, and they should, and, they are the number one threat. Like, he won't acknowledge that what his own FBI director said about Antifa or about these white supremacist groups. And the idea that, like, Donald Trump, when was the last? Donald Trump says things that upset people all the time. And not really any of the white supremacists.
Right. Yeah, he never seems to upset them.
It's quite a coincidence for a guy who's so imprecise with his language. Somehow he manages not to offend the bigots.
Right. He's a big hit with them. And also, like, maybe he does address it. Like, I don't know, maybe.
Oh, is that guy a Nick Fuentes fan? Oh, well, that's rough, I guess. Love to hear it, Frankie. Keep up the great work. Damn.
He just wasn't there, but he doesn't even seem to get to the point where he told them all to stand
Damn,
by.
dude.
Right? Like, he doesn't even seem to, like, be able to say that he said those words. Yeah.
The argument that they're saying about
Yeah,
Trump,
it is like if leftists try to reclaim National Socialists. That reminds me of that. When we were watching the videos of like Wings of Redemption. Someone asked him, like, do you think National Socialism will work in America? And what he just thought was, like, do you think socialism at a national level will work? He didn't make that connection. And so he was like, yes, I think that, like, given Bernie Sanders, it would be like trying to reclaim National Socialism as, like, doing socialist policies at a national level.
Look, I think there's
It's
probably...
like, you can't steal that from the right. They will have that word forever. There's no point trying to take it.
I mean, I'm not going to, like, the funny thing is that Shapiro's up there saying, don't take him literally. Don't take him literally.
Don't take him literally.
Yet,
It's so good.
Here he is parsing out every single exchange and every single word, which he says is really just about that fed him the idea of the Proud Boys because Biden says it and Chris Wallace is feeding him specific words. Like, they're taking this literally.
You're famous,
They're
Paul.
the ones who are taking
Thank
this
you for the
exchange
copy
literally
paste.
as a way of defending the president's long record.
It's good.
That's a good point.
Of encouraging.
It's not quite on the level
softly-
of Watch.
Like,
the Watch
let's be
commands.
clear. His
But it's good.
meaning, even if he says sure, his meaning is like, I don't take it that seriously.
Do we have any other copy pastes?
Sure.
Yeah, like you're right, because it's like we're critics of him. Are
It's
really
good because
just
you can use it
listening to him the
unironically
way
too.
You would expect a normal person to listen to another normal person. Like, they're the ones who it's like you have to separate every single word out and give it way more meaning than it deserves, and then separate other words out and give them way less meaning than they deserve. Like,
Ask me if I'm concerned about the fire.
Oh, Simp is
are you
good.
concerned about the fire?
Sure. But the real problem is the fact that we've got, there's the trees are starting to get a little bit overgrown over there, and we've got to trim them back. The literal interpretation.
Oh, the
is that,
rising one's
yes,
good.
Sure. I'm concerned about the fire, but the interpretation of the meaning is he's not that concerned about the fire. He's looking for any other thing out there that is more important than the fire.
Ben Shapiro, of course, has made a career of, running interference for racists that everyone knows are racists. So
yeah.
This is Ben Shapiro. Media accuses Representative Steve King of racism. They're lying. Read his actual.
I feel like Floyd in this movie. That's a classic, a classic Hubert special on TikTok that went insanely fucking viral. Which is, I mean, it's not a surprise. Like, Hubie is so fucking funny, and the particular type of humor is probably like, it's probably most effective on like TikTok. So I guess it's not a surprise that he just starts making shit on TikTok, and then that happens.
White women.
I think he said at some point that there were these like small white children who recognized him in a McDonald's and started saying like, I feel like Floyd and this Mayweather at him, and so he took a break from TikTok. Which that sounds rough. Actually, no, we shouldn't watch it. I feel like Floyd and this Mayweather. Oh my god. Oh, it's just on. You just search it and it's fucking.
Yo, I'm feeling like Floyd and this Mayweather. It takes so much effort to produce a smile these days.
Yeah, it'd be like that. It's a classic. Go Hubie. Absolutely. Can we get a go Hubie in chat, please? Hubie got recognized on stream? Oh, jeez. Like he was playing multiplayer? Okay, what should we watch? Let's do another Majority Report, actually. This is good. Slightly related.
That, but in the context of the Supreme Court. I
mean,
mean,
the Mia Mulder, right? We'll do that.
It's really hard to sort of look at that debate last night and think that if people came away.
Go Hubie.
To the extent that the debates mean change anybody's mind, and that's also sort of a hard thing to contemplate. It certainly wasn't based upon any type of issue set. It was really just like, I don't know. You know what it reminded me of was, that scene in the movie, the classic like after school special where the sympathetic kid gets beat up by the bully, and the girl that sympathetic kid has a crush on finally recognizes him.
Oh, like with other people? Absolutely. That sounds awful.
Goes over and says, "Let me help you. I'm sorry." And that's the
I'm on here to fucking dick around.
Way they start their relationship. I think that's what happened. I think Joe Biden may have
I don't want to join a political panel or whatever the fuck.
Picked up a couple of votes in that fashion because Trump was just being.
People keep messaging me on Discord asking me to join their panels, and I'm just not responding. No, I don't want to join your panel.
Just out of control.
I mean, if we're gonna go,
I mean, it's all that shit is fucking pure spectacle, of course, and so is this. But I enjoy doing this. I don't enjoy debating people. That sounds awful.
Childhood pop culture. I'm reminded of this every Scooby-Doo episode where the villain is.
I have a great sweet spot where none of the fucking like debate lords, Twitch people give a shit about me, and I can just post.
Finally unmasked, and he's like, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you crazy black people. I mean, that's look.
The list didn't do debates, absolutely, and that's the specific reason why I don't want to do them now. That's the only reason.
One of the things that one of the ways I've been trying to explain the debate is that if you
I honestly I'm also not very good at debates. Or like I'm better in a long form, less immediate sense because I have very shitty processing speed. So it takes a little bit for my noggin to get going.
That thing.
And the point of a debate is to be able to like immediately respond in like a witty way and own someone. It's sort of West Wing in a lot of ways.
Do it singers now sometimes where they drop out
just
all the accompaniment.
I am on Adderall every time I stream because I have a prescription because I have ADHD.
You just hear their raw voice, so you can see how Adele sounds so beautiful with no,
I mean, if you like watching debates, do it. This is fine. If it's good content for you, and if you enjoy debating, do it. Sure. I don't
if you dropped out all of the accompaniment what Donald Trump said clearly was he wants to put Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court so she can hand him the election to the extent that
He
the
pretty much
Proud
said that.
Boys aren't able to intimidate enough voters on their own. That was the through line through all the insults and interruptions
I mean,
and crazy talk.
that is significant. The idea that they can't, I mean, that's something, I guess, with all the fucking, the COVID stuff and a shit ton of Republicans getting infected. If it blocks shit in the Senate enough that they can't have a 6-3 Supreme Court, they can't have a functioning Supreme Court on election day, and, you know, during the, like, week when votes are counted, you don't think... No, the Proud Boys are pretty big. And shit like the Proud Boys, they're pretty significant. Like a pretty big threat for a lot of, like, in like Portland, if you're like a left-wing like journalist or like just organizer, there's like the odds of you being harassed by someone like the Proud Boys. That's like an issue, right? It's not just them, but they're one of the bigger orgs that are like that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but the idea that they won't have a functioning Supreme Court when the fucking the election comes is significant. It's much harder for Trump to steal the election, which, you know, he needs to do at this point. So I guess something might come out of it. They're still gonna approve ACB at some point. I'm very skeptical.
That was the through line. He
that they block
started
stuff in the
with
Senate for
the acknowledgement that the reason why he wants to put Barrett on the court before the election is so she can hand him the election. He said that clearly, and then he clearly said that he wants white supremacists to engage in voter intimidation. That's the narrative of this debate. He's telling us his plan.
Yeah, and you know, he's done that in the past, right? I mean, he always seems to tell the subtext. And, you know, you can imagine his advisors or whoever it is, maybe it's Roger Stone, basically laying it out. You know, this has been my theory for a while, is that the Proud Boys are going to go in, they're going to interfere with the voting and the counting enough so that certain deadlines become either pass or crunched in terms of like certification and getting electors. And then the things start to move to the courts. And that's, you know, sort of some version, essentially, what happened in 2000, which, of course, Amy Coney Barrett just coincidentally also was, I think, you know, sort of working on that case on some
water?
level.
No, I will drink Coke.
If she
Diet
gets on the
Coca-Cola,
court, Amy Coney Barrett,
which is healthier
the
for
third
you.
Supreme Court justice that kind of got their legal start or rose to legal fame through Bush v. Gore. John Roberts, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett all worked for Bush on Bush v. Gore. People need to remember what the actual issue was in the Florida 2000 Bush v. Gore lawsuit. Florida was trying to conduct a recount of its votes, and the Supreme Court stopped the count, stopped the recount in Florida, saying that there was no way to do that.
I mean, yeah, they literally stole that.
So in a situation that we have now in Florida,
specifically because they didn't want to, they did not
Vancouver
want to
Tap Water is
create
really good.
the sense that Bush was not president because that would be prejudicial against him.
Exactly. So
it comes
instead,
from, like, the
so
mountain or
in 2000 we had stop the recount. I think in 2020 the lawsuit is going to be stop the count. Right? We know there are going to be a lot of mail-in ballots.
Yeah,
we know they're not all going to be counted on election day night. At that point,
Genuinely
Trump and his lawyers will sue for an injunction to make certain states stop counting their mail-in ballots. That will percolate up through the system. And what he's doing is positioning Roberts and Kavanaugh and Barrett, who have all, again, already made this argument, to align with Thomas and Gorsuch, who we know are Thomas and Alito, who we know are like crazy. To force these states to stop counting ballots that have been submitted legally and officially, stop counting them before they are able to tell us the results of the election in their states. That is the plan. That is what they are trying to do. Trump is no longer trying to win the election. People need to understand that, right? Like, if you look at that debate point, that was not the debate performance of a candidate who is down trying to appeal to the broadest swath of voters.
That's true.
That was the debate performance
That's
of a
true.
candidate who
Like all of Trump's rhetoric that got people to at least fucking show up for him, in like even 2016 and later on,
who does not care,
wasn't like fucking present
that he is
really
losing
at all.
the election in terms of votes. It's a candidate. It was a debate performance of a candidate who was planning on stealing the election, and thus he does not have to care about losing it.
Yeah, I think he's sort of modeling the behavior that he wants his followers to engage in going forward, which is like, everybody's against us. We're going to fight until we win, period. It doesn't matter what that looks like or how we go about doing that. All right. Well, that also.
I think I'm going to call the stream here. I got to do schoolwork today. But thank you for everyone showing up. It's a very active stream. We love to see that, folks. Follow me on Discord if you haven't. It'll ping you when I go live there, because sometimes Twitch is sort of inconsistent with that school night. I mean, not technically, because I just have a bunch of shit to do. I won't stream tomorrow because I don't stream on Mondays, but I will stream on Tuesday. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time or around then. I'm gonna raid Chelsea, friend of the stream. Yeah, Chelsea Manning. Go follow her. She's playing video games. Oops, fuck. Am I streaming Wednesday? The days I usually stream are Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Yeah. Yes. So not Wednesday. Although there's a debate on Wednesday, right? So I'll probably stream that. If the debate's on Wednesday, I'll stream that. Yeah, okay. Then I'll stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I'll definitely stream that. If it's still happening, right? Is it still happening? Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. You get one extra stream, Poggies. If the debate isn't canceled. I mean, if not, I'll just not do it. But otherwise, yeah. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. See you in 2 days.